And now for an exclusive first listen.
Miles on fire, I'm losing ground, and in the flashing, my world comes crashing down. I'm left in nowhere, no place to hide, out in the open, like ashes in the sky. I quit the illusion. I'm moving on.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. Until next time, that's a bad kitty. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds. Reserve time.
Auto lockdown, and if they need team fight as well as there, they want to take a lot of the team fight out, so it's Storm Spirit, and we do see the OD being banned out, so they don't want any of those little ganks coming on the part of Warlocks, so they're going to want to probably pick up some sort of farmer for late game, somebody that's actually going to get some items, and probably a little bit level dependent as well. That Undying in the Lion combo right off the bat. Undying's such a huge hero right now, whether it's the pro scene, the pub scene, or semi-pro for us in AD2L. Undying is just too huge, and just one of those heroes that you just can't really lock down. Throwing out the tombstone early, or just the amount of decays stacking on top of each other, it's really hard to kill him, as well as it's a huge pain in the ass to go up against him in a lane, because you just can't farm, you're just scared for your life.
Yeah, he is a excellent first blood rate, I would say, and if Armpit has any stats on that, it'd be great. But that decay, man, is no joke. When you go into an aggro tri-lane with that Undying and that Lion, that could be really nasty.
Centaur War Runner.
Okay.
And the Centaur being picked up. Interesting for Warlocks. Definitely the tank that they're going to need on this lineup. Shadow Shaman can kind of tank up a little bit in the later game, but he is rather squishy right off the bat, just kind of looking for the shackles, and he can be blown up rather quick, especially if it is the Lion thrown out in stun, if they're on kind of an aggressive lane here with the Centaur and the Shaman. However, I do see the Shaman and Earthshaker most likely supporting whoever they have on bottom most for the safe lane carry. So Centaur might actually get a solo lane here running in the off lane, and I mean, it won't be facing up against the Undying. You'll most be up against the Lion. And with the return kind of stacking up, depending on what kind of build he goes for, he should be able to stay okay and safe.
Yeah, I'm curious to see about this Centaur Warrunner. He's going to have a lot of strength to start, which will help counter the Undying a little bit, depending on where the Undying's going and the Centaur Warrunner. But they won't be doing a lot of harassment damage to him if he is in the offlane and they're attacking him there.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, he should be okay. Be interesting to see who he's up against. Invoker actually being picked up for Team Welfare. This is a pick that we haven't seen in quite a while. Most often when we see them playing mid, it's usually Turgle playing the Storm Spirit. However, that has been banned, so interesting to see Invoker being kind of a disabler himself if he wants to go around the map, depending on if is going to be Quas Wex or Quas Exort. It'll be interesting to see if they want to go for the damage or the push, or if they want to go for that huge disable and kind of team fight along with the Quas Wex. So it's definitely good against that kind of lineup, with Shadow Shaman having so many skills that are very useful, being able to drain his mana, as well as the Earthshaker. He doesn't have a huge mana pool right off the bat either, and if you can disable that Centaur, it will save your team from a lot of heartache, them being able to stampede in, or if he is going to get off the stomp, it's going to save a lot for the team on this Invoker pick, so it is a good pickup by them for going mid.
I think you're going to see the Quas Wex Invoker in this game. That Tornado is going to be really, really useful later, especially when the Stampede is coming in. Or just throwing out a Tornado for Undying to run in from the side and steal strength and throw down a Tombstone. Yeah, a good Tornado into Undying will be really nasty.
Yeah, especially like if he doesn't get off Tombstone yet, it's gonna be really good to get him blinked on first with the Centaur. But like I said, with this Invoker coming in, that's going to change a lot of disable that they have coming from the side of Warlocks. What kind of pick are you going to kind of see here for a mid against this Invoker, do you think, for Warlocks of the Beach? I haven't really seen too much of their play as of late, but I mean, they have picked up Tinker before, but it hasn't had any success apparently for them. They've won 0 of their games in the playoffs with the Tinker. Other people that they've picked up, I mean, if they want to run a Weaver going mid, it'll be interesting to see against this Invoker, but I mean, that does add to your push with the Shadow Shaman to pick up that Weaver if he does get a Deso. Timbersaw being picked up for Welfare for that offlane as well against that Centaur, or sorry, against the Phantom Lancer rather, so that will actually blow up a lot of his illusions early on, so it's definitely a good pickup. But back to that, what do you think they're going to pick up mid here for Warlocks of the Beach?
I don't know. I don't know what Warlocks of the Butts are going to pick up, but I thought the Phantom Lancer pickup was really interesting into Undying. As a casual player of Undying, I've fought a few Phantom Lancers, and I really love seeing the Phantom Lancer against Undying. Dealing that strength, getting that Soul Rip and that Tombstone. Soul Rip and Tombstone are just right against the Phantom Lancer's grain. I don't know. But this mid, okay. You're talking about mid on Welfare, yes?
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to go up against for this Invoker
here? Yeah. Oof. What about a casual? Oh man, no silencers out.
It's going to be a hard up matchup. I mean, they've banned themselves a lot of mids, and the TA is now gone with Welfare banning out the TA, so that might be a respect ban as well as the Quap now here. Like, who are they going to pick up? They could go for a Zeus if they really wanted to, but
yeah, Zeus or I was going to say Brew, but here comes a Siren.
Interesting lineup here. It's going to be interesting to see who is actually the safe lane farmer, if it is the PL for sure, or if it's the Naga. I mean, Nagas tends to be the one that's going to go mid here rather than the PL. It's interesting. Both of them going to be going probably Diffusal, unless Naga wants to go for that Radiance build and kind of be able to push, but they're going to have to deal with a ton of illusions here. And I mean, Undying, like you said, is great with that Decay clearing out the illusions and the Tombstone being a huge bitch against it, but really it's going to be hard to clear him out once they start getting a little bit more tank, because PL normally goes for, if he wants to go for a Scotty or a Heart just to tank up the illusions, and Naga doing kind of the same thing as well.
I think you're going to see Mama Naga going the Radiance, and Phantom Lancer going for the early push, probably Diffusal. But Warlocks of the Butts are definitely going for that push. That is cards on the table.
Yeah, for sure. Interesting with the Centaur as well, having that Stampede wanting to charge in. I mean, PL is pretty quick already, being able to jaunt up real quick with the Phantom Rush. And, I mean, Naga usually tends to go Boots of Travel, so she can kind of get around the map easy enough. So it'll be interesting to see their mobility. Like, it doesn't look like the most mobile lineup, just for the abilities for each of the heroes. But, I mean, with that Stampede, they're going to be able to get around that map pretty quick. Really good to engage on those team fights.
Yeah, silly newbie question, but Armpit can chastise me in the stats later. The Stampede while Phantom Lancer illusions are out only on Phantom Lancer, correct? Not his illusions.
Interesting. I think
Yeah.
it might just blow up illusions. I'm not actually sure.
Okay.
I think it'll just do the same as his hero. And Sven actually being picked up for welfare. That's really interesting. I actually haven't seen the Sven being picked up on the side of welfare. So that looks to be their late game carry. They're going to have good stun. They're going to have a lot of good damage. So with the Invoker combo along with the supports, most looks like to be along with the Lion, it'll be really interesting to see how much disable they have this Sven to kind of come in and clean house. On the side of Warlocks to the Beach, they have a lot of late game on the side of Phantom Lancer, Naga Siren, Earthshaker. Once he picks up that blink, he's going to have a ton of kill potential. Shadow Shaman, just every ability of Shadow Shamans is just so good to have in the first place. So going to be really interesting to see what actually happens. You might actually
I want to see that Sven pick up a quick Maelstrom. That's what I want to see. I want to see a quick Maelstrom on that Sven, and I want to see him clear those illusions like nobody's business.
You might actually be on camera work here. I'm not sure what Donut's actually got for us in business.
Let's test this. Ready?
Unless that's, I don't think it's armpits.
I see a camera in the dire side.
That's mine going around. I don't know if this is the main camera or not right now. It tends
Production value, folks.
Oh yeah, huge protect. We're so prepared. We've been spending all day.
So prepared.
I focus too much on the banners, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay.
Might as well introduce the side of Team Welfare right now, and I'll let you do Warlocks on the Beach. On the Dire side, we have Geo on the Lion. We have Mr. Sinister running the support Undying. Turglow, who usually goes mid, is actually running on the Sven. We have Kiko on the Invoker, and Caesar on the Timbersaw.
Okay, so on Warlocks of the Butts, we have Legathari on the Phantom Lancer, we have Chaucer on the Centaur War Runner, Alphonic on the Naga Siren, and Dr. Dread on the Shadow Shaman, with Fuzzlelith on the Earthshaker. Fuzzlelith. They're not making it easier for us, are they?
Not at all.
Okay.
Changing the name from Warlocks of the Beach to Warlocks of the Butts and screwing up their names. And
it looks like Fuzzlelith is pinging the jungle hard. Pinging that jungle hard.
It does have a couple of words here. No smoke coming out on the side, not that I see anyway. It looks like Naga's just going to be farming here, so yeah, no smoke's coming out. It doesn't look like a huge gank. Both might just be securing runes here. Timbersaw does have a sentry, so he does toss it down here to block the pull camp, but I don't think there's going to be much action here in the early game before the horn sounds.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to kind of play it safe.
This sentry spot, everybody loves this spot.
It's definitely a good one. Either that or the Magic Bush. Either way, it's hard to kind of find. Yeah.
So this is my first time seeing a pet in a pro or semi-pro match, actually.
Oh, the Earthshaker, yeah.
Yeah, little armadillo in the Earthshaker. Okay, we got some posturing around top rune and bottom rune, but it looks like both teams are going to be just ships passing in the night here.
Naga picking up the bottom rune, Sven picking up the top, so both carries actually getting a little bit of farm, a little bit of XP, and yeah, no harm, no done. And so bottom lane here, where it looks like I am right with the tri-lane with the Shadow Shaman, Dr. Dread, and Fuzzleth with the, looks like PL, legit Harry actually picking up the PL, so it is the Naga Siren mid against the Evoker with Kiko on mid.
Yeah, I wish I would have called it, but I was going to say that this lane for Dire safe lane was going to happen with Undying and Lion, because you get a stun with Lion, you get the strength sap with Undying, and then a follow-up stun with Sven, and that's a dead Centaur War Runner, my friend.
Yeah, this is going to definitely be an aggressive kind of try lane here to protect this Sven. They might actually have so much more kill potential that he might not need to farm. He can probably just farm this Centaur, like you said.
In a perfect world, let's say perfect farm, PL versus Sven. Who do you put your money on?
Probably still put it on the PL. He's got the little bit more maneuverability, right? He can just kind of jump out of the team fight if he really needs to. But once he starts building so hard, I mean, they picked up the Earthshaker. They don't have a ton of illusion clear, not late game anyway. And him being able to just kind of push towers along with his Naga, they're going to have to protect against both. So I feel like PL is probably going to end up getting more farm out of this by the end. However, that being said, Sven is actually top of the charts right now, 8-4. So like we've talked about before, he's going to have a pretty easy lane against a Centaur, with Undying doing so much work, stealing all the strength with Decay, and Lion doing what he can, stacking camps. So it's going to be difficult to see. Right off the bat, Sven's going to do better, but late game, I'm probably still going to have to give it to that PL.
I don't want to be negative, but a lot of time wasted right here on this Earthshaker. He is stacking, which is nice. He's going to miss that stack, but he sat in that jungle for, the better part of 30 seconds, I would say, to get that stack and pick up a smoke. So a little bit of dragging his feet there, to be honest.
Yeah, only 20 XP to his level 1 here, not getting a lot at all, and actually throws off the Fissure and does miss it. They want to go for this kill. They do get a little bit of vision on him with the PL, throws out the Phantom Lance, or the Spirit Lance. Shackles goes down with the Shaman, and they look to go hard on this Timbersaw. Otherwise, TP's coming in, Undying throwing DK on 2 of them, chasing down the Shadow Shaman, and Fissure comes out again, does block him up, and it looks like the Shadow Shaman will be okay. A lot of TP's coming in the side of Team Welfare, and they do manage to save this Timbersaw and Caesar, but nothing actually happening on either side, and both look to just go back and play it safe.
I don't know if he needed that saving, to be honest, but that was a lot of TP responses, which is good, I guess. Really,
yeah, he does have the
really
reactive
on top of
armor.
their communication.
Exactly, he does have the reactive armor, so I agree. I think he would have been fine, but good for them to rotate down just in case.
Chain and reactive, he probably would have been okay, but.
Had Earthshaker not had that fissure, that would have been a dead Shadow Shaman, so it was a good rotation, but just didn't play out in the end.
Rather have it not need it than even not have it.
Exactly. Going mid here, we have Kiko lining up pretty good against this Naga Siren, sitting at 11-3, with this Naga's just at 7-1. She will start to get a little bit tankier with these illusions, depending on what she wants to build up. Most Nagas tend to go for that Riptide just to be able to farm. It'll be interesting to see if he actually gets zoned out. Invoker actually not being picked up a ton on Kiko that I've seen at all, like I said in the draft, so it'll be cool to see what he goes for. It looks like he is building Quas Wex, so it will be a lot of Disable, Mana Drain, Tornado, all that shebang.
Might be a little bit of action bottom. We've got Fuzzle
rotation in.
The Timber. Nope, no
just playing it safe.
Yeah.
They are spending a lot, like you said. This Earthshaker not getting a ton down on bottom here. Still sitting at level 1, hasn't even hit his level 2. He's cost all his mana and still hasn't got a crack off for a kill here. Just kind of stacking camps, but I mean, they have this ward here and any vision that they needed, as well as having to de-ward that pull camp. It's going to be real hard for these supports. Not going to get a lot out of this lane, just trying to give a lot of farm to this PL.
Yeah. I agree. Centaur's also not getting a whole lot in the off lane right now. He's getting a ton of solo XP, but other than that, not much money to show for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, Sven doing quite well up on top, sitting at 34.9 CS here, and it's only going to get better for him. The Centaur still can't do anything. Undying doing a really good job zoning him out, and still Geo stacking these camps. That looks to be a 4-stack now, or is that just a triple stack? I think.
Look at that.
That's a triple stack. Even still, depending on if the supports want to pick that up, or if the Sven does pick that up. Just goes cleave, it's going to be a ton for them to pick up.
Yeah, that Sven can eat that very quickly once he gets his shreds or something else, and Lion can support him if needed.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Centaur getting a little bit here.
Yeah, he could eat that if he wanted right now.
Yeah. they haven't pulled this lane a ton, so Centaur still is getting levels, despite him getting pretty much no farm, sitting at pretty low last hits here, only 11, but that's to be expected against this tri lane.
Here's our wraparound.
Yeah, these two supports might actually come in. Going mid here, Invoker does toss off and gets first blood on the Tornado against that Shadow Shaman. Geo actually coming in with the Lion, throws off the stun, and they're going to chase this down. Naga, however, does throw out the Song and the Siren, and they should be okay unless they want to re-engage on this. Undying throwing the Tombstone from the side, but nothing going to come out of that. Either way, first blood coming out for the side of Welfare. Invoker picking that one up on the Shadow Shaman, the Tornado running down on mid.
Yeah, I think the Shadow Shaman took too much damage from the tower, unfortunately, and then the Tornado was just the last straw. His frail little body couldn't handle it anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like Lion's actually going to stick around on mid here, help out this Invoker a little bit more. They might actually want to start taking towers to get some map control, because they're doing quite well. Sven's still farming really good, so they don't really need to worry too much about him, so they should just look to kind of start controlling the map, and they might actually need to start looking at this PL. He's doing quite well for himself too. Not as much as Sven, but I mean, they haven't really gone on him yet, and it's just kind of been protection of this PL the whole time. So might be good to turn on him with this Timbersaw doing okay on bottom as well. He has hit his level 6, so they should look for a gank on him on bottom.
Yeah, I don't want to wax philosophy too much, but the Shadow Shaman and Earthshaker really need to do something else. They're not going to catch up this Timbersaw. They've already tried quite a few times. They should focus their effort somewhere, in my opinion. They should maybe another smoke gank or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the rotation on mid kind of failed, and Shaman actually going down, but if they look to go top and kind of help out the Centaur, they do have a lot of kill potential. That will be 3 disables with the Stomp, the Fissure, and the Shackles, so that might actually be something key to go on, especially if you see this Lion kind of rotating around, and Kiko actually on the sitting down on mid. If he's actually going to go bottom, they should just kind of look to go top.
Some of the teams in the Radiant jungle are kind of feeling each other out. I think they're trying to figure out maybe where Vision is to a certain extent, watching where the other team reacts.
Well-gotten gains.
I think they'll slowly figure out that this ward is down here for, both teams.
Naga picking up a bottle, so it looks like she will want to go for the farm game here. I haven't really seen much stacking the camps here on the side, except for really at kind of the first minute for this Earthshaker, so they might want to start doing that for the PL as well as the Naga, especially if she wants to go push build and gets a Radiance. She has picked up the Quill already, so it might be a Manta style instead. Even still, she needs to get that farm early on to kind of compete with this Sven, otherwise he will actually be able to kill these illusions rather quick, because he's doing quite well for himself. It's still 8.5 minutes in, and he's sitting at 65 CS. He's doing quite well.
So this is a Quas Wex Invoker and Tornado Yeti.
Yes.
Do you think he is going... Oh.
And Stampede actually going out on the Centaur and almost goes down. Tombstone, everything being spent there. And Lion actually gets off the last little right click there and does manage to bring him down. Interesting to see the Stampede go off with kind of nobody else around. And Sven actually looks to just take this camp. So getting a quick little bit of XP and gold here from that kill on Centaur and taking a triple stack camp. Geo actually getting off a pretty good stun, even though the Stomp did go off. So interesting to see him kind of jump in on the top lane.
I think he was going for the kill with that Stampede. I didn't catch it, I wasn't there, but I think that was the idea.
He was kind of sitting around safe around under tower though, and then he just kind of went for it. So 3 against 1, even though the Earthshaker was kind of rotating in, it was a little preemptive and ended up costing his life.
And it looks like we lost a Phantom Lancer on the side as well.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. Who did he go down to? Timbersaw actually did take him down solo.
Yeah.
And he's starting to chase down against the Shadow Shaman.
That Timber Chain, that pure damage, and that Whirling Death is nothing to be scoffed at if you time it right.
Definitely not. And if he's on his way to a Bloodstone early here, PL's not going to have any better farm down here. Does finally pick up his level 6, so he will get some illusions, but it's still going to be tough days for him if the Shadow Shaman just kind of starts to stick around a little bit, help him out, but Timber being able to just kind of throw out his chain or Timbersaw or whatever he wants, it's going to be a difficult lane for this Phantom.
Definitely agree. Got an Invis Timbersaw kind of wandering around near the Ancients, not sure. I think he wanted to flirt with mid, but now he's gotten bored waiting. He's curling back around. We'll see if he can pick up another kill on this Phantom Lancer. You know, with the Invis, it might even give him the extra jump he needs.
He's actually going pretty hard on him. I think just a little bit of harass, actually. Throws out the Chakram, throws out the Whirling Death, too. But
yeah, I thought the chain was
no real harm done. Yeah, me too. Another Stampede going off on top here. They do actually wrap around on Mr. Sinister. This is going to be a 3 against 1. Shackles goes out, as well as the Fissure, and they do manage to finally bring down Mr. Sinister on the Undying.
Fun fact, Mr. Sinister, the comic book character, has green blood, and so does Undying. Anyways, moving on.
Hey, great stats. Anything's included. And a stomp, and the double edge going out on the Lion, getting a quick kill here. So that's 2-0 on the side of Warlocks of the Beach on top lane here, helping the Centaur actually kind of get way up there, getting a little bit more gold. What is he? 500 gold off his Blink Dagger now. It's pretty good after the start he had.
I'm gonna toot on my own trombone here and say that they got some kills up top as soon as Earthshaker and Shadow Shaman decided to rotate.
Yep, definitely made the best call there.
Just Super Saiyans.
Nothing but great personality coming out from the side of 71. It's great to have you cast
right. Thank you. It's always a good time with new meta media.
And Turgle actually finishing up his treads as well of a Mask of Madness here, so he's doing quite well for himself, almost at 100 CS. However, with these kills coming up top, I think they figured out that they do have good kill potential, and Centaur's kind of playing pretty deep against them now, so it'll be interesting to see what this Fen wants to do. If he's just going to kind of keep farming up here, if they want to maybe group up, start pushing lanes, maybe take some towers, because neither team has done that, even though they do have a lot of good push. And Stampede actually being used again, Stomp going off up top, Naga focusing on the Tombstone, Shackles goes out, look for the double edge. Mr. Sinister actually going alt form and still goes down to the wards, and it's just going to be a cleanup house here. Fissure going out on top of Lion on Geo, and looks like he's going to go down on part of that Naga Siren as well. So that's another 2-0 trade here, and actually Warlocks of the Beach have taken control of this kill-death ratio here, and they look to push top tower.
I'm really surprised. Naga had a bottled haste rune and the Stampede was going. She could have just ran in and told everyone mommy timeout time by singing her beautiful song of her people, but she didn't. That's surprising.
Did she have enough mana up? I didn't actually see her come in until the last little bit
at
there.
the beginning she did, yes, and she also had a bottled haste rune, so she could have hasted, then used her bottle, then done whatever she wanted.
Yeah, sometimes teams like to save the song just kind of for a disengage if they're kind of getting run on. It depends what you actually want to use it for. Like if you have a Ravage standing by or a Black Hole or something like that, it's good to song in. But with their stuns and everything in the Stampede already, I mean they can just kind of hold on to it till later.
Yeah, agreed. Invoker is working his way towards an Orchid. He's already got his first Oblivion Staff. So
yeah, he's had a pretty
I thought
easy
he would
lane
go
mid.
Yules. I thought he was going to go race car build, but he went Orchid, which is fine. Seems like a good pick for this game anyways.
Yeah, he's sitting 4th on net worth here, just underneath the Naga Siren, so he did have a better mid lane, but Naga picking up those couple of kills definitely increased her. She's actually being gone on here with the EMP going out. She does have no more mana, but Stampede to save her, and she gets back just behind the T1 here. So a lot spent by the side of Team Welfare, but gets her mana back, and Invoker and Undying might just look to push mid here with her being kind of forced all the way back.
Yeah, that was the combo we were discussing at the beginning of the game. The Tornado EMP with Undying right there to throw down Tombstone and Sap Strength. Really, really nasty combo.
Yeah, had she not had that Stampede in the background, she probably would have died to that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Radiant's top tower.
Looks like this T1 on mid is actually going to go down here, sitting pretty low, and Centaur not managing to get off the deny. Either way, the tower does go down, so 200 extra gold going to each hero on the side of Welfare, and they are actually pushing top as well. Sven expending his ult, and they're going to push this pretty hard with that Mask of Madness. So a lot of pushing starting to come from the side of Welfare, and it'll be interesting to see what their return is on the side of Warlocks of the Beach, with a lot of push potential themselves with this PL, the Naga Siren, and the Shaman with his wards. I thought they'd get this done rather sooner, but instead they've kind of just been going for the kills, and they managed to get that, but they might actually lose PL down on bottom. Tombstone going out, Decay going out as well, Timber Chain to actually finish them off, and that's a huge pickup on PL, and they're going to start to push this bottom tower together.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you that they're going. Radiant is going hard for the push, and it's falling back a little bit, unfortunately. They could pick up some steam in the mid game. We'll see.
Yeah, Invoker actually coming down to meet on bottom here, and Centaur does have his blink and shows it off, blinking out, and they're probably going to be able to pick up this bottom tower. Fissure actually coming out from the side, but it's more of just a deterrence than anything to engage, so taking a lot of map control here on the side of Welfare, and Warlocks look to just kind of chill out and start getting some more farm on this Naga, more farm on this PL, and hopefully be able to survive until the late game.
I think you're going to see a big gold swing too, because that's 3 tier 1s in, I don't know, within minutes of each other. That's a huge influx of gold to the Dire side really quickly.
Invis rune on Geo, tossing out both the stun and the finger, and Sven does come in to clean up that last little bit and looks to take their ancients as well. Tons of gold going to both of these, and Sven really controlling the net worth here, sitting on 8k, next in line with the Invoker and the PL at 4,400 apiece.
Yeah, the Welfare is getting the picks they need.
Big rotation coming out from the side of Warlocks on the beach. They actually jump on top of that Undying. PL picking up that kill. Tornado goes out, and Invoker being in huge response here. Timbersaw chasing down this PL. EMP going out as well. This might clean up. It does clean up the PL. Actually, Echo Slam being used on the side of Earthshaker doesn't pick up anybody, and Lion just able to turn around and right-click him to death.
And the whole time, Sven is just chopping trees in the forest. Got his BKB, and he's going to come out with something else soon.
Yeah, that's a huge swing there. A lot of XP for these supports on the side. Even though Undying going down first, this is a ton for Geo on the Lion. With him being able to pick up a lot more than the Shadow Shaman and Earthshaker, he might actually even go Ags late game if he wants more damage control. It'll be interesting to see, especially against those illusions. It will clean house on them. But for now, he's just going to hard support it and kind of get a couple more wards up. He might actually go for Force Staff or Blink Dagger if he really wants to.
Yeah. We're going to see what happens here. Okay, Earthshaker getting a little aggressive, throwing out a fissure.
Shackles coming out on Timbersaw, but does get forced back. EMP going out again. Wards are actually dropped. This might be a kill on the Lion. Being healed up from the Undying, rather. And actually, Shadow Shaman being turned around. Centaur does jump on top, does finish off the Lion. Tornado going out again. Invoker just looks to TP out. Undying sitting in the background, and Invoker actually does get stunned up from the fissure and is being chased down by this PL and finished up by the Naga Siren Riptide. So 2-for-1 trade here on the side of Warlocks on the beach, and they're actually taking the better side of it.
Yep. Good turnaround, good turnaround. I was skeptical about the Earthshaker being so aggressive, but that fissure lock really disrupted a lot of the team fight, and that's really good for them.
Yeah, the fissure on the back end was definitely a key game changer on that side. Picking up that Invoker is pretty huge because he was starting to kind of get away with these team fights. It's a little hard to say who actually won that one. Yes, picking up the Invoker is huge, but they all died and then just rotated everything over onto bottom lane just to pick up those 2 kills again. Whereas on top, top tower actually went down to the Sven, and they're getting a lot of map control on top of this. Oh no, sorry, their top tower actually went down. They did pick up a lot of gold on that.
I think that the tier ones in top lane have been down for a little bit.
No, somebody's tower actually went down. It was either on mid or I actually missed it. Oh. But Radiant did pick up that gold. I thought it was
I bet it was Dire side mid then. I'm gonna say Dire side mid.
Yeah, so okay, they did pick up quite a bit of gold exchange on that, and even still though, Sven's been pretty much farming this entire time. Almost at 10k net worth. He's building, he's got his BKB, he's already got his Crystallis, so he's got a ton of damage and survivability already, and it's only 19 minutes in, so they definitely need to get on top of this Sven. With them being able to pick off everybody else right now, especially that Invoker, it is good to kind of grab that XP and gold off of them, kind of force off this Invoker actually picking up that Orchid anytime soon. But even still, this Sven is just going to be too huge for them to handle, especially with PL not getting a ton of farm out early, and Naga still only has Bottle. She's actually coming into Song In. She's got a huge Song on, I think that's 5. Earthshaker dropping down the Echo Slam, Tombstone going out as well, everything being spent. Huge team fight coming down. Sven tossing out his stun, ults up, BKB as well as the Lion Finger, takes down, Lion getting a double kill, Sven getting a triple kill, and that will be a full team wipe as well as a tower on the side of Welfare. Song going in, definitely a good song, got it on pretty much everybody, and Echo Slam going down as well, but just not enough to kind of finish anybody off on the side of Welfare. They're all sitting here on full health. Undying doing a ton of work, just kind of healing up everybody with that soul rip.
Yeah, that was an encounter I would only want to be on one side of, honestly. That was a great song setup, but then the follow-up was just a little lacking.
Like I said, that Sven has gotten so much, I don't think they really want to team fight against that, especially if they see the Sven coming out. I think that's one you just kind of want to turtle and let that tower go, but instead they looked to defend it, and they ended up costing the whole team.
I don't think they actually saw the Sven. He was kind of on the periphery over here and barely got caught in the sun.
Oh, he was sitting on the side. Okay.
Yeah, she actually moved and he was unslept for a while, and I was curious if he was going to run back in, but he kind of stayed patient, waited for the song to end, and then ran in. So it was a good play, good patience by him.
He definitely cleaned house, and now he's actually cleaning their jungle out. And Sven actually just war crying away from the Shadow Shaman. Maelstrom on
I don't think it's gonna happen.
On the Sven?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen, but that's what I want to see.
I don't think so either. It'd be
on my
interesting.
wish list. Well, I would clear those PL illusions and Naga illusions right quick, and he already has the attack speed to be proccing it like crazy.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. We'll see. If he reaches a point where he doesn't even need the Maelstrom anymore, then he doesn't need it.
Well, he's got the natural cleave, right? So if he just builds damage right at this point, he's able to clear them pretty quick. But I do see with the Maelstrom, if they do get tanky illusions.
If they're in his face, yeah, the cleave only goes so far. The Maelstrom can proc distance. Oh, he's got that demon edge, so curious what he's going to do next. Oh, it's got to be Daedalus.
Earthshaker trying to save for that Blink Dagger on that last engagement, ended up losing a ton, so sitting with just an set of Arcane Boots right now. It's 1,200 gold, but it's going to take him a little bit longer here. And Tornado actually going out on the side of the Shadow Shaman. I don't think they're actually going to chase this down to clean him up, but deterred nonetheless, and no wards actually going out. They only have the one. They do de-ward this one in the jungle though, but Shadow Shaman does actually block their camp, so no more hard camp farming for the Naga or the PL.
Yeah. So, on the flip side of this, Warlocks of the Butts, do you think they just turtle up and farm as best they can in the jungle, try to get that PL to a point where he can just push like a monster? What he's got, Diffusal Blade level 1, and let the Naga farm as well, or do you try to bring the fight to them and try to get picks?
Well, on that last fight they ended up losing a lot, and they're actually going on this Timber Saw again, and geez, Shaman actually does get the shackle off, but they get destroyed either way. Sven coming in and picking up the first kill on Shaman, and Timbersaw finishing off that PL. So just as you're saying it, they try to go against that team fight against Caesar there, and they're just able to turn on him. They really need to kind of stay back and just be able to farm, especially for this Naga and PL. Not that they need to go for Radiance now, because it's 23 minutes in, but they definitely need Manta to stay alive and be able to push out, and definitely need Diffusals against this team. They are pretty mana dependent. Sven's not able to really crack off anything with his low mana pool if he doesn't have any, and Timbersaw solely relies on mana as well as the Invoker to get off anything, so if they both go for Diffusal, it wouldn't be a horrible idea at this point, and but it will be difficult. They do need the pushback here, because they're just going to start knocking down towers, and although they've picked up the 2 T1s, they're not going to get much more out of this, especially if Team Welfare starts to kind of just go for the team fights.
Yeah, Timbersaw did end up making that Bloodstone Horcrux for himself, so that's a big item for him right now. As long as he's participating in some kills, getting charges on that. Yeah, Horcrux. Jokes.
That was great.
And so yeah, you're welcome. That will be giving him a lot of mana and health regeneration. That'll adding to his tankiness. At the beginning of the game, I wanted to see him build a Blade Mail, but not a lot of Timbersaws build Blade Mail. Here we go. We got Invoker cruising through the top side of the jungle. A lot of pings coming from the Fuzilith at the bottom lane. I think they want to clear that out and push it a little bit. Both teams kind of playing a little bit of farm game, postulating, Undying harassing. Those PL illusions are going to start adding up like a big old fat boulder. He's going to have to run out like Indiana Jones. Excellent phase shift by the PL. Excuse me, Doppelganger. Dodged that EMP very well. Now the Timber is giving chase. Is the Phantom Lancer going to be able to get away? This hungry little zombie wants brains. Oh, that hungry little zombie got brains. Big team fight. Mommy's turning on the lights, turning them off again. Big pause. Ooh, excellent Earth Spike by the Lion. See that mechanism coming out, giving everyone a little bit more tankiness. Defensive snakes coming out from the Shadow Shaman. Re-engaged by the Centaur War Runner. Blink Stomp. Another Earth Spike. Oh boy, this is the fight that keeps on going.
Yeah, this is a long team fight.
Timbersaw
Timbersaw keeping chase on these two. Stomp going out again, actually misses on it, so just kind of a deterring stomp there on both times for the Centaur War Runner. And Shaman kind of doing the same thing, wanting to throw out those wards to keep the defense going, but they ended up just cleaning all that up. And we do see Earthshaker and the PL going down, like you said, to that hungry zombie, and they're just going to look to take this T2 tower.
Yeah, if the PL had not quite engaged back on that hungry zombie, he would have lived. I think he had an excellent doppelwalk getting away from it, but he re-engaged on it, and the zombie proved to be too strong.
Too strong. At this point, I think they can just kind of look to go for this Rosh. Finishing the data lists here on that Sven. He's got a ton of damage. He does have the lifesteal. I think they can pretty much just head right into the pit here.
Oh yeah. What do you think the next item on Sven is? Heart? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he could tank up if he wanted to. He's got a ton of damage already, sitting at
strength, yeah.
225, so 227.
That'll give him a larger. That'll give him a larger buffer for the diffusal blade too. I think he can take much more damage.
I mean, the diffuse is going to go for his mana first, but yeah, if he does tank up, he can pretty much just turn on them. And they do actually go to take this rush here. Timbersaw can pretty much tank this up if he wants to, sitting at 11 Bloodstone charges, doing a ton of work here. Undying coming in just in case. Doesn't have enough mana for the mech yet, but he'll be just fine. Looks like he's actually going to go Greaves, so once he picks up those Greaves, it's a lot of survivability for the whole team. It's going to be really hard for the defensive Warlocks at the beach, even if they do expend all their ults and get off a huge Echo Slam. Earthshaker's still not able to pick up this Blink Dagger, but even if he does have it, I think they'll be able to survive and just kind of push through, and they're going to be taking a T3 here pretty quick after this T2's down on bottom.
Yeah, I think Welfare's just going to bully their way around the team fights, honestly. Warlocks on the beach need to either split and somewhat. Well, there's the Radiance coming from Naga as soon as I say split. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. I don't know how well the split is going to work, because Welfare might just press the issue by going high ground very shortly. Yeah, I think hit and run tactics, guerrilla warfare is what Warlocks need right now. Some distractions with the Naga Radiance illusions, some distractions with the PL. You know, whatever you can do to just hold off that siege. Oof, there's a little bit of a whiff on the Stomp Blink. Yeah, it was a good blink, but.
Yeah, this Radiance timing isn't the greatest, obviously, sitting at 28 minutes when she picked it up, but oh, she actually gets the song off, even though being stunned. That zombie's still going after her. I didn't even know that actually went through, but either way, she's going to be able to TP out and she'll be just fine, but this will be a tower being picked up on the bottom lane for the side of Welfare. Actually, Warlocks on the beach looking to re-engage on this. Wards do go out on the side of this Timbersaw, but he's able to Timber Chain right out. Sven going full BKB here, throws out the ult, and he's going to be able to pick up two at the back, taking out the Phantom Lancer and the Earthshaker. Timbersaw on a dominating streak, picking up that Shadow Shaman. They're going to clean up the wards, clean up this bottom tower, and that's just the time that they need to get back. Naga throwing off the Siren and just kind of TPing home. That should just be the cue for the rest of the team to get out. They just don't have enough farm to be able to survive against this huge team fight team of Welfare.
Yeah, that was a panic ult. They just needed to leave. It was time to go. The thing we missed most is we should have known that zombies are nocturnal creatures, so he was not going to fall asleep. I don't know why we didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, definitely. Geo with the Blink Dagger now does throw out the Earth Spike on two. Tornado going off as well. Fissure whiffs on the side, but does pick up the Lion, and actually throws the Echo Slam as well. Being turned on here, orced up by the Invoker. Timbersaw going down to the backside of that Chakram, and finally Fuzzlift does go down to the Earthshaker, to the Undying rather, and they actually buy back, look to engage against on this Fen. This can be a huge pickup. Aegis actually finally going down. Rack's exposed, but not being taken down quite yet. They just want to return in and go for another team fight. Caesar getting a little low here, jumping back. Sven throwing out the stun. Actually expends the ult as well and wants to go after this in the fountain. Being netted up as well as the fissure. Stomp as well. Everything being thrown up on the side of Turglow here. But Invoker does get a Tornado off on 4. Mana being spent from all of them. And Naga looking to just kind of chase him with this Radiance, trying to take them all down. Double Edge cleaning up that Undying. And Caesar jumping out with a Timber Chain across. He looks to TP out, but gets stomped on instead. Net goes out as well. And this is going to be a cleanup on the side of Caesar if he doesn't get out. Naga actually going down to the Timber Saw. Huge turn by Caesar.
Timbersaw said, "Excuse me, would you like to fight?"
Turned her around as soon as he got into the trees there, and Naga just blown up. 14 charges on the Timbersaw. I thought for sure he was going down. Either way, on the back end, they do pick up that Sven as well as the Invoker, and sorry, the Sven's Aegis, but they do pick up the Undying. So it is a good team fight for them. However, they did have the Earthshaker buy back, and that's an exposed Rax on bottom. It's definitely going to be tough to turn this around all the way and be able to push out lanes. That being said, Naga does have the Radiance. She's still down for a little bit longer, 20 seconds. But with that being picked up, as well as a Manta style, the push now can start to siege here, and PL picking up a Yasha for himself. So the push is going to start for these two late game carries. I've seen a Naga before. She can extend a game from 20 minutes all the way to over an hour, and eventually it's just hard to shut her down. She's going to be too tanky, and you just can't clean up her illusions.
Yeah, if she picks up something like a Heart or a Manta, she could get really nasty. She have that Manta? No. She's working on a Yasha.
Yeah,
can't help but notice that Sven got a Heart. That was a good idea. He's a smart guy.
Oh, jeez, just calling them all tonight, aren't you?
Apparently. Throwing out all the I told you so's.
Sitting on top of net worth here, we have Sven sitting at 19k, Timber right behind him at 11k, and Invoker sitting at 9. It's looking really difficult for the side of the gold and the XP here, diving beyond 15,000 on the side of XP, and beyond almost 20,000 on the side for gold for Team Welfare. So definitely going through dire straits here on Warlocks of the Beach. Let's hope they can kind of chill out and be able to farm up this Nog or this PL, or this is going to be game over rather quick. Fissure actually going out on 3 here. I don't think they should engage. Probably get back here.
Definitely not. Their smoke got broke by the Undying, unfortunately. They wanted to wrap around and get a big old jump on them, but the Undying broke their smoke and then just kind of waddled away, which is unfortunate for their smoke.
See, now Warlocks of the Beach really want to play safe here against the side of Welfare, because they know they can get picked off so easy, but this is what they needed to do at pretty much minute 15 and secure this Naga and the PL more farm, and just not able to get it done here. So Rax still haven't gone down on bottom, but it looks like Team Welfare is actually going to push right through. Gathered up 5, and they're looking pretty strong here, all full health, and wanting to go in with this new Heart by Sven, and any more items picked up here. And
yeah, this Fuzzy Wuzzy Shaker still can't get a Blink Dagger. It's unfortunate.
Tombstone does go out, but they do get the Initiate on top of that Undying, as well as the Timber Saw. Sven wanting to turn this around, goes BKB. Lion from the back end gets a huge ult on them. Triple kill for the Sven. He's going to keep chasing down. This might actually be a Rampage for the Sven. It is. Turbo taking all 5 down. This will be a Rax. And Lion might go down to the back end of the wards. No, he's going to be safe and gets out. A really good initiation by Warlocks of the Beach to get the net on Undying and stomp on 2. And I thought they were going to clean house on the top of that, but Sven just BKB up on the backside and just walk right through and cleaning up house on the side of Welfare. And not looking really good here for the side of Warlocks of the Beach. I think this is probably going to be GG for them here real quick.
Yeah, very, very possibly. I think they tried to work their way up the food chain. Warlocks of the Beach tried to focus on dying first and then work their way up to the harder targets. I mean, Lion's hard, he's in the back, and Invoker's got so much mobility, and so is Timbersaw, so they're like, hey, let's start with the Undying. And, you know, with the whole team focusing on dying, that's great, but then all of a sudden, Big Papa Sven comes out of nowhere and goes, excuse me? I'm here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, that natural cleave just doing so much for him, especially with those crits. He got a Rampage pretty quick out of that little engagement down on bottom. That ended up being quite huge for them, and Rax as well.
Looks like Sven decided to pick up some BOTs.
Yeah, it's not a bad pickup
He
for
just
him.
wanted that move speed. Serious business.
Yeah. I mean, might as well just chase down more kills and get another Rampage.
Yeah, I think it might have been a quick buy when he thought he might die in that engagement down there on bottom lane. I had just been looking for something quick to buy to spend a lot of money on before he lost some unreliable gold.
Pipe being completed for the Centaur. I didn't actually see when he picked that up, but that is really good against the Lion and the Invoker. Might be a little too late though. It's a lot of DPS coming up from that Sven. I don't think Pipe's gonna save you from that guy.
That's a pipe on the Centaur? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Blink Stomp on the Invoker. I think it's just a little deter, a little bit of harass for him, and then he's just going to back out a lane here with these three playing a little too close out of their comfort zone here and just going to get over river.
Wow, 9.4 KDA. Oh my. So this point booster on Centaur, is this just casual, or is he thinking about that Ags? Is he flirting with that Ags?
He's thinking about that Ags. He's definitely thinking about that Ags.
Man, I love the idea of Ags on Centaur on paper, but I just don't. I think there are better items you could get as Centaur. Just Heart, Blade Mail, Blink. You already have a lot of things you need to be getting on Centaur. I think adding Ags to that list makes it difficult.
Yeah, Blade Mail is
your
probably
Stampede is already doing so much work for your team, just so much work, like in general. All right, here we go.
Yeah, they look to go on mid here, take down another set of racks, and Warlocks of the Beach are going to have to put up a huge defense here if they're going to want to stay alive in this game one. And jaunting out is these PL illusions, but they're cleaned up really quick against that Chakram. And Sven actually just going full ult here, BKB, tosses out the stun, Invoker actually throwing out the Tornado, deterring the death of this Naga Siren. She will go down either way. And Shaman escaping with little life here. They do turn on Caesar. He's going down pretty quick, but I think he's going to he's going to Timber Chain out. Undying actually going full ult form here. Lion throwing out the finger on top of that PL. PL going down to the Invoker, buys back instead. Earthshaker falling to the Sven, and these zombies are still on full fruit here, and they're going to take down these racks on mid.
Really, the Naga Siren really wanted a call there, and she got stun locked by the Sven. It was really impressive.
Chauzer actually picking up a return kill here on top of that Lion. Actually, it was the PL, but Shadow Shaman being taken down really quick with that Tornado, as well as Geo throwing down that Earth Spike. Does buy back to try and save the day here. Kiko getting rather low, but he's just going to get out. Blink Stomp actually on top of that Invoker, double edge, and he does go down. Center actually doing a ton of work for him right now. Still hasn't gone down. Tombstone going out again, stun on 2. Shaman with the dieback, and they're going to start chasing down Chozer on the Centaur War Runner here. And Legit Harry is actually being chased down, and I don't think he's going to be able to kind of survive against Caesar. He's done a lot of work, even though they focused everything on him at the start of that team fight, and still just not able to go down. And Centaur actually jumping in, blinking on them again. Fissure coming out, and Sven just throws out the BKB refresh now, and they finally managed to take down that Centaur, and looks like Naga's going to have to run back as well. She's running pretty low here. Timbersaw actually going to be able to clean her up. Indeed, he does. Fissure going out on top of Caesar as well, but I don't think Earthshaker's going to be able to take him down. Look at him go. He's just all over the place. Caesar doing a ton of work on this Timbersaw. Invoker throwing out the Tornado, and he cleans up the PL as well.
His regen is just out of control with that Bloodstone.
Sitting at 17 charges, he now has the completed eggs as well as the Shiva's Guard. He's got a ton of stats, and they're just not able to bring him down at all. And GG's finally called by Warlocks of the Beach.
Yeah, I think the double push strat, the Phantom Lancer and the Siren, might have been a little too greedy on the side of Warlocks of the Butts. They might have wanted to just pick up another solid core to try to either defend their carries or, you know, just to create more disruption in everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, interesting lineups for sure. Naga and PL coming out, like you said, wanting to go really late game and just not able to pull it out here. Side of Welfare taking game one with their team fight, a little bit of combo draft here, and like we said before, Undying doing a ton of work, but really it was Sven that took control of this game as soon as he got a ton of farm, doing a lot of damage, running 15-0-6 here. And interesting to see what game 2 is going to happen here. Probably going to have a 5 to 10 minute break, and then we'll jump right into game 2.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
The sack.
Radiant team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Lion.
Radiant team pick.
Leshrac definitely being able to run mid a lot these days, and him going late game with, if he does go Bloodstone, as well as an Octarine core if they do pick it up, it's really hard to kill Leshrac for one, and his kill potential is through the roof.
Yeah, a lot of players in the pro scene and the pub scene have been running that Leshrac mid, getting him those levels, getting him that gold really quickly, taking out that tower early, and then just like booking it for that Octarine core, just to stay alive, just sucking up all that magic damage right down their throat, man. It invigorates them. It just makes them stronger.
That Pulse Nova just so good.
Yeah, it's just pulsing health into him. It's never gonna stop dying, or excuse me, never gonna die.
Never gonna stop dying. Well, with the Bloodstone, he can do whatever he wants, I guess, right? That wonderful
then
Horcrux
he would be undying. If he was never gonna stop dying, then he would be undying. He never, actually, Timbersaw never denied. Also, speaking of zombies, last game, the zombies had 3 kills. I was counting.
The zombies went hard last game.
They
Timbersaw going hard for 1, but those zombies, whew, what a pickup.
Yeah, they went hard. And the big old fat drunkard coming out, Brewmaster.
Yeah, that's another pick I haven't seen from Team Welfare before, so really shaking up the lineup. Picking up Lion as well, most likely going on Geo again, and it was a huge pickup for him last time. He really knows how to play that hero well, and being able to stack camps for that Sven at the first point, getting that triple stack, and Sven just really got huge and out of control. Silencer being picked up for Warlocks of the Beach. And that's usually a ban that we see from Team Welfare right out of the bat. So rather than them having been dying, they don't opt to ban out the Silencer, and Warlocks of the Beach do finally pick it up.
Yeah, it's that was an in between bans pick. It was definitely a high value pick for them because they spent this pick on it. So
yeah, Silencer's banned. Silencer's usually banned by both these teams, so definitely one they don't want to deal with, and both teams kind of know it.
Silencer's banned by everyone, man. No one likes to play against him.
Nobody wants to play against Silencer. He's not as good as he used to be with the last word not doing the disable, but it's still a bitch to deal with early in the lane.
Yeah, he's totally a pain in the Warlocks of the butts, man. He's a pain in the butts.
Radiant team ban.
All right, let's see what these guys are doing.
Nothing better than having the great personality from 71 again, joining me for game 2 of the cast with all his little mediocre puns.
Mediocre.
Just
New
kidding,
meta
they're on point.
mediocre? Is that what you made? Is that what you meant to say? New meta mediocre?
No. They're on point. They're on point.
All right. Let's see. So they've already got the team fight with Silencer and the Lesh and the AoE. So, and Brewmaster likewise has the team fight, the sustain with his split. Curious to see what how we're gonna balance out these parties going forward for the butts and the welfare.
5 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of same respect bans coming out again. OD and Mirana being banned by Warlocks as well.
Reserve time.
And it like completely different lineup that we see this time with Leshrac and Silencer coming out. What kind of draft do they want to follow up with a late game kind of carry, or they just want to go for mid game? What do you think, 71?
I think these bans on welfare, their bans are all offlane bans, so I think they're going to pick a big carry in the safe lane. I think you're going to see like an anti-mage or something that can't deal with the Viper or the Undying or the Bristle in safe lane. And then side of the Warlocks or the Butts, I think they're going to be looking for something. I think they're going to be looking for something tanky. Maybe they can dominate that team fight like Sven did last time. I'm not sure because they have the Silencer and the Leshrac to really dominate those areas of team fighting. Oh, there goes the
Anti-Mage actually being banned out by Warlocks. I'm not going to lie, I've seen Welfare pull out the PA quite a bit, and they've had a pretty good win percentage, running her for 7 games, I think, through the playoffs, and 85% win rate, so doing quite well with her, so I think that's probably going to be their late game carry if they do tend to send this Brew going mid, which most people tend to do, want to get that Primal split out early to have a little bit more dominance over the team fights. And for the side of Warlocks the Beach, they might go for the Weaver this time, actually, and get a little bit more push, especially if they do have this Leshrac. I thought last game they were going to have a ton of push, but just not able to make it past the mid game, blown up with the Naga Siren and the PL, so they might want to get a little bit more early here, and Shadow Fiend actually coming out. It'll be interesting. So lanes are a little bit different here. Shadow Fiend most likely going mid, and this might be a carry Brewmaster.
It's gonna be Turglow mid with the Shadow Fiend. They were discussing in the chat earlier about him. That he only plays Shadow Fiend. I think it was a joke, but if it goes to Turglow, I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Turglow's their pretty much number 1 mid that we've seen run through. That they win all their games with them going mid, so I'd probably say that Shadow Fiend's definitely going to be on Turglow. And Brewmaster going to be interesting to see if Kiko's going to play that. He did run the Micro Hero of Invoker last game, so maybe they're going to throw him on the Brewmaster.
Okay, I'm going to abandon you for a second. I'm going to check my settings and make sure everything's okay to go.
Yeah, that's okay.
Be right back.
Tusk being picked up for Warlocks of the Beach, and that's a little bit more disabled for them. And God, in every pub game that you see, Tusk kind of running out of control here if he does pick up, whether it's a Shadow Blade, or if he tanks up with a Scotty and kind of just goes crazy. He can really pick up anything he wants, and with that Walrus Punch, I mean, you're not going to probably see an Aghanim Scepter being picked up, but if he wants to go for it and throw out the kick, by all means he can do that. It would protect against that Shadow Fiend if he goes for the kill, but it's kind of a little bit of a janky item to pick up. It does get him the stats, but I think Scotty's definitely a better item for him to pick up. Either way, Tusk does a ton of crowd control with the Snowball and the Ice Shards. It's a good pickup for the side of Warlocks of the Beach, especially if they kind of zone them out and split half of them up with the Ice Shards. Leshrac can kind of just Pulse Nova and take down the side of Welfare if it's the squishy support on the backside of the Lion, or if they do focus down their carries on the side of Brewmaster and Shadow Fiend. They do have a lot of good kill potential currently, especially with the silence going off. If they blow the ult, they won't be able to return any kills on them early on. So it'll be interesting to see how good Leshrac does on mid if he is actually able to pick up a ton of farm. Maybe go for BKB later on. He will be able to survive quite well. Interesting to see what will come out on the side of Welfare. I said before, if this Brewmaster actually does go full carry for them, they're going to need another support, maybe another offlaner. Ogre Magi coming out. Now this is interesting. We've seen Geo pick up both Lion and the Ogre Magi. It'll be interesting to see who he actually does pick up. I'm going to say he's going to pick up the Ogre Magi, and that's going to be a full support Ogre Magi. Have Lion actually start to kind of build more of a Blink Dagger. Maybe actually go for the Ags this time. I'm not quite sure who's actually going to pick him up here. It might be Mr. Sinister picking up the Lion, and Geo going on the Ogre Magi here, Turglow on the Shadow Fiend, and perhaps Kiko on the Brewmaster. So that'll leave Caesar as the offlaner, which is what they need. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of return pick the Warlocks of the Beach want here. They themselves have pretty weird lanes right now. No true support. They could pretty much have either of these guys on a carry. So right now I'd say probably Tusk in the off lane, Silencer maybe one of those supports if they throw him in a tri lane. Night Stalker actually coming up. Now this is really weird lanes. It's good to have that Night Stalker early, but you don't really see him picked up in a lot of team games just because his kill potential does drastically drop as soon as it hits just after the mid game. He just doesn't have that late game presence anymore. That being said, he can just kind of roller coaster and snowball through a game, especially literal in that sense with the Tusk. If they start ganking with that snowball and Night Stalker coming in with a Void, they can blow up people rather quick. It really depends on what kind of start Night Stalker does get. Leshrac looking to be that support now on the side, so definitely interesting lanes coming up from Warlocks of the Beach.
So is this just new meta team core? Yes, Warlocks of the Butts want all the cores. Just get us all the cores. We want to survive.
Well, you see it in all pubs nowadays. Everybody's a core, so you might as well just start running that in real games, right?
Apparently that's the way to go, my friend. So
PL being banned out by the side of Welfare.
I'd love to see an ogre. You know what I wouldn't mind seeing either is a Shadow Fiend going safe lane, the Brew going mid.
Yeah, that could,
we'll see.
It really could work either way. I find that Shadow Fiend going mid is a lot better. Just getting him the kind of early levels for Shadow Rays as well as the Necromastery so he can build up his damage. Brewmaster, yeah, he needs his level 6, but I've run a Brewmaster before in the safe lane farming, and he can get out of control. You build a Battle Fury on him if you want, just to farm and kind of control with that crit. It can be one hell of a time against that Brewmaster. This Night Stalker's going to want to gank on him quite a bit.
Take into account last game the supports on Welfare stacking the jungle for Sven. Think about that for the Shadow Fiend. Like, definitely give him some stacks. Let him get that flash farm up. Could be nasty. Same for Brew.
Yeah, that gold graph is going to go out of control actually with those. He's going to get off the Shadow Rays combo and just clean up camps like crazy. I was saying before, Geo most likely on the Ogre Magi and Mr. Sinister probably going on the line. Geo has run that Ogre Magi a lot. I've seen him lose, I believe, once on the Ogre Magi. It just didn't work out. But that being said, with the buff that you get from Ogre Magi, even though he has been nerfed a little bit for his survivability as well as his stun, still that Bloodlust is huge. And we do see Medusa being picked up, so a lot of late game potential, and Slark being picked up for Warlocks of the Beach. So Warlocks want to go for an early gank kind of build here with the Tusk, Night Stalker, and the Slark. They're able to kind of... 3 of those heroes are all heroes that want to ball out of control and just start chasing down heroes real quick, get that kill potential. On the side of Welfare, that's definitely a late game kind of lineup. I mean, you get a ton of damage on that Shadow Fiend. It's hard to protect against them, but they have so much late game potential from the Medusa as well as the Brewmaster. Interesting to see here for sure. On the side of Welfare in the Radiant side this side, it's actually Caesar running the Ogre Magi, Mr. Sinister on the Brewmaster, Kiko on the Medusa, Geo on the Lion again, and Turglo running that Shadow Fiend.
And for Warlocks of the Butts on the dire side, we have Chaucer on the Tusk. We have Legit Harry on the Slark. We have Fuzzleth on the Leshrac. We have Alphonic on the Night Stalker, and stand-in Dr. Dread on the Silencer. All right, it looks like we might have a little bit of postulating in the Radiant jungle.
Yeah, it could be an engagement this time. Last time it was just kind of focusing those runes really quick on the carries, and Sven got the huge control out of that. Ward going down in the pool camp here, just an observer ward from Fuzzleth, and actually they're looking for the rune. They don't actually know that they're coming in from the jungle.
Here comes
all
the
5
snowball.
sitting here.
Get ready.
I don't know if they have vision of them yet.
Sub-Zero, are you ready? Are you ready for it?
They actually get vision on this Geo here. Snowball going out, 3 going into the Snowball. And stun, huge Earth Spike going out on all 5 of them, but First Blood still does go down to Dr. Dread on the Silencer against Geo here, and they will be able to pick up this rune on the side of Alphonic. So good rotation from all 5 here, starting to get back to lanes, and they do pick up that rune again, like I said, so definitely good kill potential right off the early bat and getting the First Blood on that Silencer.
I really liked that snowball play. That was really clever. Just hanging out here in this camp, warding it, getting the vision so no one's sneaking up on you. I guess it's not that far. It's only here vision, but that's still great. Loved it. I loved every second of that. It was fantastic. Wait.
I'm not sure. Anyway, going down back on bottom, and Medusa running on the Kiko here, or Kiko running on the Medusa rather, and she's just going to look to farm this up a ton. It will be a little difficult running against this Tusk as well as the Leshrac. Leshrac looking to support this Tusk on bottom. Shozer didn't get a ton on that center early on, but he was able to get a lot of kills later on. They did have really good timing on whatever stuns and Blink Stomp that they needed, so interesting to see what it's going to be up. It's pretty much a complete swap of lanes here from last time, with those two supports kind of stacking the jungle and being able to pull through and not getting a lot in the early game. Medusa really hoping to get a lot of farm, but that being said, she doesn't really need it a lot early on. As long as she can kind of stay safe and not die, eventually she will get that farm. You just can't stop her from it. Going mid here, we have Turglow harassing out Alphonic quite a bit on this Night Stalker, and he actually has 7 last hits going quite well. Medusa actually did go down to this Tusk down on bottom. Geo running rather low as well. And Fuzzlith actually burning down.
They snowballed right here. They snowballed through 2 of them, and they got an easy kill. It was... Oh, but there might be a return. There's the return.
Medusa with the return kill on the Leshrac. So definitely good pickup on that Medusa, but she is able to actually get it off on the backside.
Yeah, while you were checking out top, Ogre de-warded this camp, so they are looking for the pull-through really quickly. Great sentry, great... what am I thinking of? Spider Sense. Great Spider Sense coming out from him, thinking that there's a ward there blocking. So he was rewarded for his investment.
Brewmaster on being on the top lane here, actually being harassed out quite a bit, sitting at no mana with that Silencer protecting the Slark up top. It's definitely going to be real annoying of a lane with that Slark pounce potential here, and Silencer just pretty much zoning out this Brewmaster completely. Without any mana with this Brew, he's able to walk in, get one hit, and kind of run back in, but not able to get any Thunderclap on to get some farm, so it's going to be a difficult lane for him.
Yeah, on the flip side of that, the Drunken Brawler will ensure that he can get last hits before Slark, because Slark's first levels of damage are not great at last hitting. But yeah, he has to be wary of that pounce. That could screw him so quickly.
And on mid lane here, we had Shadow Fiend activating a double damage rune, but didn't see the Leshrac actually rotate in, and Split Earth as well as the Lightning Strike goes out, and Night Stalker actually taking down that Shadow Fiend on mid. So huge return kill on the side of Warlocks on the beach. Getting a lot of farm on this Night Stalker, doing quite well actually. Shadow Fiend's still protecting his 12-4 lead, but Night Stalker's going to start to work his way back up here with that kill.
Yeah, Warlocks of the Butts are definitely getting those early kills, trying to get some momentum going. Hopefully they can get that farm on that Stalker and get a crazy mid game. I think that's what they're going to be looking for.
Up on top lane, Slark still doing quite well for himself, sitting at tied for first here. Actually is in first for last hits and denies, sitting at 14 last hits. Doing pretty well for himself. He doesn't need to get too much farm here rather, as long as he gets his levels, and he'll be able to run around the maps just as much as he wants. Any pro game that you do see a Slark in. Oh, they do actually manage to take down the Leshrac here. Shadow Fiend getting a return kill on that. Even him going down to the Leshrac and Night Stalker does manage to take his revenge back on top of that Leshrac.
Definitely. The Earth Spike on Lion, it was blind uphill from the water. It was quite impressive, actually. Nice skill shot. Love to see that. Ooh, this could change some things. We have Shadow Fiend bottling up a haste rune and flying to where he needs to go. Let's see if he's gonna go mid. No? Yes? He hasn't decided. I thought he was gonna go top.
Sitting at 22 souls, so he's doing a pretty decent chunk of damage right now, but I think without this Night Stalker being here on mid, I think he's just going to look to farm up this lane. And Night Stalker, now that nighttime is up, he's going to look to go down on bottom here, go for an engagement for a little gank, maybe trying to pick up this Medusa again before she gets a little bit more farm than she needs.
Here comes the
snowball actually going off. 3 jumping into the snowball right towards the Lion. Ice Shard's going out, but Medusa does turn around with the Mystic Stake. Stun going out from the side of Caesar does take out the Leshrac, and Void going out from the Night Stalker does take down the Lion instead. So that's 2 supports being taken down, and both carries able to stay alive here.
This snowball is a blessing and a curse. It's doing great work for pulling their team together and running into an enemy team member, but the Lions Earth Spike is just ruining it every time. As soon as they come out of that snowball, Earth Spike. That's a free 3-person Earth Spike, and that's really a double-edged sword.
Snowball going in again against Caesar. He's in by himself. Ice Shard's going out, and this might be a kill on the side of Shawzer. No, he should be able to get back actually. Yeah. But like you said, it's really being a curse for him right now because he's going hard against this line, but he's able to just turn around an Earth Spike. And actually, Shadow Fiend does go down to the Slark on mid with a quick gank, return kill for the Slark, and Night Stalker actually going mid as well.
Yeah, these exchanges are not going in the favor of welfare, unfortunately. Every time they get a little bit, there's another pick on the side of Warlocks with the butts. So, see.
Mr. Sinister getting harassed out again here. Last word going out on him. Not doing a ton of damage, but he will be forced back, sitting at no mana and half health.
It looks like Slark went for a quick Aquila as well. He even skipped. He's just straight brown boots right now, which is interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Mr. Sinister picks up. He might just be going straight for that Blink Dagger now that he does have his boots. I guess they do need the initiation. They don't have a ton of it unless they go for the Shadow Blade or a Blink Dagger on the Shadow Fiend. But we've seen Mech being picked up on the Shadow Fiend quite a bit, so it might not be a Blink Rush. And Dr. Dread still doing a ton of work to Mr. Sinister, just completely zoning him out. He's going to be forced back to Fountain.
He has to, yeah, but on the flip side of that, Dr. Dread has to, he's burning a lot of mana to keep him zoned out. A little bit of Stolen Intelligence, which will help him out. I'm curious to see what the Slark is going to get. I was going to say Silver Edge, but that is not terribly useful right now. Looks like we might have Action Bottom.
Yeah, I think Silver Edge would actually get rid of... Yeah, it gets rid of Drunken Baller, so he would actually get a full hit on him and not any mischance. So it would be good against the Brewmaster. On the side of everybody else, no real good passives to kind of get rid of. Not sure if it actually does get rid of Presence of the Dark Lord or not, because that's just an aura.
What about Bloodlust?
Be interesting to see.
Maybe?
No,
Maybe
Bloodlust is an active ability, so...
Okay.
Active abilities, because it's just for the passives. But, I mean, Silver Edge is still a good item for him to pick up, because then he can just really roam around the map and still get a lot of kills. So you might be right with the Shadow Blade into the Silver Edge, sorry. But I think you could actually go for something a little bit more tank ability and just go straight for the Scotty. They do actually control the Shadow Fiend running down him on mid. Slark and Night Stalker actually rotating in. Leshrac throwing down the Split Earth doesn't actually pick him off, but they do get the line instead on the backside with Slark picking him off. Silencer going down to Brewmaster on top, does expend the Split, but definitely a great kill for him to pick up. Does hit level 8 off of that and getting a ton of gold. He's really close to his Blink Dagger. Back on mid here, we do see Caesar rather, sorry, actually going down to the Slark again. Double kill for the Slark, and they're just going to look to take this mid tower.
Yeah. Warlocks are doing exactly what they need to do. They're taking control mid game, and I think they're going to go for throats soon. Shadow Fiend coming right back with no souls. Oof. Dangerous play to TP into that with no souls, but it worked out for him.
Yeah, like we talked about it earlier on, they needed to stack this camp, or a couple camps for the Shadow Fiend, but they haven't really done anything for him, and he's going to be sitting a little bit behind this. Really, even though the Night Stalker was mid, it's really going to be the Slark that's going to take control of this game, getting a double kill there, and getting a lot of farm up on top. Just sitting behind the Shadow Fiend for last hits here. I think, yeah, it's still on top of net worth here. Actually, all three carries are sitting on top of net worth for the side of Warlocks of the Beach, and Shadow Fiend sitting only 2,900, so doing quite well in this Slark.
Yeah, Slark's going to be a slippery little fish soon. You watch, he's going to get real nasty. We'll see what he builds next. He'll probably go for the Scotty, like you said, but Silver Edge wouldn't be a bad choice either. Looks like we have Shadow Fiend. Oh, coming in mid for Night Stalker. Nope, Night Stalker doesn't want any of it. He just wants to float around. It's daytime. He didn't bring his sunblock. He's going to wait a little bit. Slark is scouting. He's pinging.
Yeah, he's got his ult up, so they know the ward's there. They know that
Harry's pinging it out. He wants them to know. Hey guys, there's a ward here. Looks
He
like
might actually
Leshrac is
jump on
pinging
Mr. Sinister on the
Slark.
backside.
Oh, the blink.
He does finally pick up the blink, and great time to pick that up for the escape, because that could have definitely been a death against all three of these heroes up top. Down on
Absolutely.
bottom, we have Chauzer just kind of chilling out with on the Tusk here, just soaking up whatever XP he can get. And Medusa's still doing quite well. She's going to finish up her treads. Actually, she is going up. She's picking up the Hand of Midas here. Does have the recipe, so she can bring that out right now.
She's a greedy little Gorgon. All right.
Yeah. Greed is completely swapped on the side of these two teams. First with the Naga and the PL in the first game, and now Kiko running that Medusa is going to go for the Greed build here and wants to go real late game. And I don't blame her. Medusa's pretty crap early on. She can't do a whole lot unless she is in Riley and just kind of throwing out a Mystic Snake for any kind of last hits for a couple kills or basically just assists. She can't really do anything early on until she does get some items. She's definitely one of those late game carries along with the Anti-Mage that just don't do anything in the early game. So them wanting to take it late game is definitely understandable. They'll have a lot of damage coming out from the Shadow Fiend and a lot of kill potential and disable coming out from the Brewmaster. So if they are actually able to make this past 30 minutes and get Medusa some items, it'll be really hard. Silence actually going out on these two. Split Earth on top of Caesar. He's running pretty low here. Leshrac finally picking up that kill with the Lightning Strike, and they look to go for more here. Nightstalker going deep here, just going to draw out this creep line here, and I think this will be a T1 tower. They need to get out quick. Medusa TPing out, and Geo actually does have TP. He'll be safe, but this will be a T1 tower for the side of Warlocks at the beach.
Yeah, and you know what stinks the most? Medusa did not get to use her Midas. It was just delivered. She still hasn't used it. And they started engaging, and she just did not have a place to use her Midas. She's still not using it. She really needs to use it. Oh my gosh. Use your Midas. Okay. I feel better.
And they did try and pick up their return tower on the side of mid, but Medusa pushed it a little bit too hard, and Leshrac able to pick up the deny on that tower. So a little bit of gold lost, and a little bit of swing here for the sides of Warlock. And they're about a 3k lead here. For the hero levels here, we got Shadow Fiend sitting on top on 10 with the Brewmaster right close on 8. And definitely seeing that even though Welfare hasn't got a ton out of these engagements, they've done enough to get the Shadow Fiend pretty big here. He did die, what was it, 3 times now, but he is going for that Shadow Blade, does actually have the Claymore.
Yeah, he has 36 souls right now. I think he might, yep, he's going to go eat that jungle. Combo that stuff up. Nope. Big fight.
Brewmaster blinking out just in time. Earthspike does go out on Alphonic. Brewmaster actually coming in with the Snowball anyway. Kiko throwing out the ult. And they do actually manage to lock down 2 of them here. They're going to go hard on these 2, but Kiko is running pretty low. Nightstalker does finally pick up that kill. And Lion and Medusa are the only ones to go down. Slark actually being picked up from that Shadow Fiend in the back end with that ult. Nightstalker still going hard, does finally pick up a triple kill on this Ogre Magi. And Brew looks to go hard on this Nightstalker, running ever so low. He might be able to get out. It is still nighttime, and he is going to run away and be safe. Brewmaster's going to look for the blink, but it's a little too far now, and he's actually going to run into 2 here. He's got to play it safe. He's going to have to get back quick.
Yeah, that Medusa got 3 on that Stone Gaze. That was crazy. I can't believe she got all 3 of them. Oh my.
Yeah, they didn't really have anywhere else to go.
I thought that was the end of that fight. I thought as soon as they turned to stone, they're just going to wail on them and they're going to shatter. But Nightstalker turned around and said, you know what? I'm gonna keep fighting you. It's nighttime. Let's do this. I'm going to open my face up. It's going to be all spiky. I'm going to hit you. It's going to be great. Much respect to the Nightstalker for...
With that swing, the Nightstalker does take hold of the net worth, sitting at 5,200 with Shadow Fiend right behind him. So definitely a huge swing on the side of that, with Nightstalker able to get out and just kind of run away from that Brewmaster ever so close to dying.
Yeah, Ogre Magi top lane, a little bit out of position. I don't know. Slark Snowball Pounce. Too bad.
And like you said before, Warlock's doing exactly what they need to running through this mid game here. Slark picking up a ton of kills. Now the Nightstalker's got that triple kill off of mid and still staying alive. They're doing exactly what they need and able to pick up this T1 tower, and they're going to start to look to take that map control.
Yeah, as soon as you see that tier 1 mid fall, they're going to want to group up hard.
And Nightstalker coming in from the side, going hard on top of that Medusa, able to pick up that kill. Silence going out instead, or in the background here from that Silencer, and Turgla not able to chase him down. TP's coming out aplenty from the side of Welfare, but that will just be a lonely kill on the side of Medusa going down from that Nightstalker. Brewmaster actually blinking in, throwing down the stomp, and that might have been a poor decision as they look to turn on him. Stun going actually out, and Shadow Fiend throwing down the ult, will be able to pick up one kill, actually picks up the second one as he goes down with that Requiem of Souls, and Lightning Strike going out on top of this Brewmaster, able to Primal Split, throws Leshrac up in the air, and they go hard on top of Shazzer, but he does have a Shadow Blade, he will be able to get away, but this should be a dead Leshrac. Stone goes out, and just to clean up, Geo throwing out that finger, and Nightstalker wanting to come back in. Probably needs to play it safe. Snowball going out. Tusk going hard again. Goes real deep for that Lion. And just turns around and runs away.
That's amazing that he hit all three of them with that snowball. The lineup of that snowball was fantastic. I don't know if he did it on purpose or he committed to the snowball and then regretted his decision. But man, oh man. Hitting all three of them with that snowball, really important to his survivability.
Dire's top tower.
Lots of commitment coming out from both teams there, and Welfare actually picking up the better side of that, getting 16k in gold change there, and a lot of XP to that support of Ogre Magi, as well as the Brewmaster, running through that whole fight and able to pick up that Leshrac at the end. So definitely a good fight for Welfare to take. They did lose the Shadow Fiend, but he has already picked up his Shadow Blade, so they're doing quite well for them as well. Tusk does have a Shadow Blade too, and Slark might actually go for that build, depending on what he goes for. I haven't seen it come out on any courier or anything quite yet, so like I said, it'll be interesting to see what he builds. But both teams running a little mid-game strat here right now, except for this Medusa wanting to farm up real deep, and sitting at 15-8 for the kill lead here on the side of Warlocks of the Beach.
Yeah, Warlocks, they really need to grab this mid-game by the horns, and they need to hold on to it and not let it go. If they slow down too much, that Shadow Fiend and that Medusa are going to get nasty, and that Brew is just going to dominate team fights with a split. It's just going to be chaotic. I think they need to really... It looks like they're grouping up for a smoke right now. Yes, they are. They're going to cruise through the middle lane. We'll see who they get. But they really need to go hard, or else they're gonna... I think this game is gonna slip out of their hands. This Medusa is dangerously low. They could go find her. No. No, they're choosing to go through the jungle instead, probably for the Shadow Fiend.
This is going to be a dead Shadow Fiend for sure. They're all coming and rotating in here. Slark coming from the... Not even smoked up, just wanting to go hard. Do they have any reveal, though? They do have a dust. They do blow it. They do find it. Snowball expand, and this is going to be a dead Shadow Fiend real quick. And goes down.
Good for them.
And
that was smart. That was smart to bring that dust.
Yeah, they definitely need that reveal. I do think they saw the Shadow Blade before when Nightstalker took that Medusa down mid, so definitely knew it was coming.
Definitely. Definitely. They definitely knew.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Money changes hands.
And Geo having to get out there real quick. They know that he's coming for him. Nightstalker actually blowing his ult, going nighttime here, and Mr. Sinister just scouting everything out with his Invis rune. Oh, almost actually right-clicks by accident, but able to kind of stop the animation, gets out freely. They do just throw down the sentry, so just miss this Brewmaster. Unless he starts to turn around here, then Legit Harry might actually come back around on him.
Dire's top tower is under
He does turn on the silencer, does manage to throw out everything. Silence does go off, he can't get off his ult, and Slark just looks to turn on him instead. He needs to throw that, he does get the ult off, and looks to go hard on the Slark. He still has his ult, and they're all just going to rotate in on top of this Brewmaster. And it looks like all of Welfare is going to come in instead. They do see Turglo with the Sentry Ward coming in from the side, so they do know he's coming, and they're just going to go deep. Stone goes off on Alphonic, and they chase down Legit Harry on the Slark here. Shadow Fiend throwing down the Requiem of Souls. Stuns going out on Trozer. Finger of Death as well. And actually does get blown up rather quick. Silencer going down on the back end too. Looks like Turglo will go down as well. And Mr. Sinister wanted to go hard on top of the Slark, but he's running pretty low himself. Huge multicast coming on the side of Caesar, and they are actually able to take down the Slark. Double kill for the Lion, and they're going to try and chase down this Night Stalker, sorry, and he actually does void up the Brewmaster and able to take down himself.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I love to see that multicast. It's fantastic. I thought that Slark would have been in and out, hitting and running more and more, but he chose to stay and fight a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. Leshrac up here farming a little bit. I mean, he's a little behind in the item game. He could use it.
Bottom tower is under attack.
A lot of spam
I mean, we
coming
did
down
talk
at the
about
bottom
them.
rune.
We did talk about them taking the mid game by the horns here, but they're sitting a little back here and pretty much losing that team fight. Welfare actually taking control of the XP board and starting to make a little bit of a peak here towards the side of gold as well. So losing quite a bit from that, and Slark going down was a huge loss for them.
The longer it takes from this point on, the harder it's going to be for Warlocks, I think. That's Clark still hasn't picked up a big item. The last thing he got was a Shadow Blades 20 minutes in. I mean, it's not bad, but he had a lot of gold earlier, and he really could have used a big item at about the 18-minute mark. I don't know. See.
Yeah, and
maybe
sitting
a
at net
late
worth here,
illusion.
Nightstalker still taking control of this, but Shadow Fiend real close behind him and actually taking down this Ancient. Split actually going off for this illusion. Oh no, Brewmaster. Poor Brewmaster.
That's too bad. Well, what are you gonna do? Yeah, you go hard. You go hard, I guess.
Another illusion coming out. I don't think he's going to fall for it this time. And he's just kind of sitting there a little dumbstruck. He doesn't know what to do, and I think he might just end up getting back. Yeah, blinks out. Silence missed on the silencer here, but better heads prevail.
Yeah. This Medusa still farming away with her Midas, still having a great time.
And Shozer sees everything coming in with that Invisor, and they don't have any reveal. And Slark now does have his Shadow Blade, so he's going to come hard on top of this Medusa. I think they need to get out now. They did see that Sentry coming in with him. They might have got a little vision, but he does get the pounce off on top of Geo on the background. They can't see him with his ult up, and he is managed to take down this support. Tusk coming in with a snowball. They do take down the Medusa. Silence going out as well. And Caesar going down as well towards this Tusk, and that's 3-0. Leshrac actually went down the back. I didn't see that.
That's taken the Centaur War Runner by the horns, man. That's what you got to do this mid game. They're gonna push this tower. They're gonna get a nice little influx of gold. Radiant side Welfare is not pushing anywhere else. It's pretty even, so this is gonna be a big windfall for them right now. Silence are cruising at about 8 stolen intelligence. Not too bad. Not too bad. Now they're retreating. They're probably thinking about Roche, but it's probably not the best idea. They don't really have a Roche lineup. I mean, any lineup with enough resources can be a Roche lineup, but man, I don't think any of those characters wants to tank that except maybe Slark.
No, they can still do it. Tusk is sitting pretty good, and ooh, they did not deny that tower on mid. Nightstalker can definitely tank up that Roche.
Yeah. What does he got? Yeah, okay, he's got a Dom, he's about to have BKB. Yeah, you're definitely correct.
And we got Turglow actually picking up a BKB here. A little bit more survivability for him. Definitely needed because he is going down at the end of these team fights just before he can get really any huge kills. Does manage to pick up the little Shrek a couple of minutes ago. So he is getting a little bit off of that. Sitting just under this Nightstalker for the net worth still. Hopefully being able to take off here and get more damage. Medusa actually finally does finish one of her huge items. She does pick up a Maelstrom, so she's going to be able to farm quite a bit more. And we do see a smoke coming up for the side of Team Welfare. All 5 in the smoke, and they look to go through the jungle here. They only have the one ward, so it'd be interesting to see which way they go. They might actually walk right into him.
Yeah, it's very possible. Oh, they might. Oh, ships passing in the night.
Oh, coming around the back end here.
Slark Shadow Blades.
This is awkward.
Looks like the Tusk.
Yeah, I think they're just going to go for
Gonna
Tusk.
be
They
the
need
Tusk.
reveal, though. Mine does have the dust, so they should be able to knock down this Tusk rather quick. Yeah, and here he goes. Ooh, dying really quick. They need to expend that dust right now, and they do see him, and Lion does pick up the last hit on top of that. Was being blown up by the Turgle on the Shadow Fiend really quick. So definitely a good smoke around. They almost got caught out by that Slark running through mid here with that Shadow Blade, but they do manage to sneak by and pick up this Tusk kill on the back end. So now it's 21-13, and Welfare starting to crawl back here from that huge gold lead from the early game.
A lot of pressure going mid now.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend has actually surpassed this Night Stalker in levels, so he's only going to get bigger now. He just needs to pick up some more key items, get a little bit more damage now that he has that BKB, and he'll be doing just fine, being able to pick up those back-end kills.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, don't underestimate this power of Leshrac. I know he's fallen behind on items and gold. A couple of kills on him. 1 in 5, yeah. Not his best Dota day, unfortunately. You know, it happens to everyone, but don't underestimate that pushing power. Went for a 4-1-4 kind of build. No push for the Dialogue Edict.
No, he wanted to get that support out with a Split Earth early on, but now he's kind of paying for it, not able to farm up.
Yeah,
Lion does finish his Blink Dagger as well, so...
Yeah, he wanted to nuke the support. Yeah, I understand. It makes sense. Was he mid?
Leshrac? No, he was actually supporting.
He was supporting? Okay. They had Night Stalker mid, that's right. That's right.
Is under attack.
So Geo picking up a huge item for himself, the Blink Dagger coming on that line for that initiation, and we still have this Brewmaster running the Blink Dagger. Now does have a Vlad's, and I actually think he's going to go BKB again, so they're just looking for survivability while this Medusa kind of tanks up and gets some damage on herself, and these teamfights will be rather hard. 2 actually rotating in on Mr. Sinister and able to blink out real quick here, and Fuzzleth actually just going to get his farm that he needs and steal these two creeps in the camp.
So he saw them up here, and he had the presence of mind to stay and farm what he could here and then get out at the right time. Is interesting. He's playing it very close to the razor's edge. Oh.
A lot of wards coming out for the side of Warlocks on the beach. They want full control of this jungle, not letting Medusa farm anymore. And that's really the steps they need to take here. They need to get this mid tower and just take full control of the map so Medusa can't farm this up. They're already having enough trouble with his Brewmaster being able to outlast pretty much every team fight. And even though Shadow Fiend is going down, he's getting a lot of damage off. So if they can hold back this Medusa and not get any farm on her, they will be actually be pretty good to take this game and maybe actually start pushing Arax here. Shadow Fiend coming in from the side, they don't actually see him quite yet. No harm done. Ice Shard's going out and just kind of a deter, and everybody's just kind of staying safe.
Silver Edge. What's happening? Well, their lanes are pretty even. They're just kind of pushing around for a big team fight mid. They have the last word ready. Or, excuse me, the global silence ready.
Shadow Fiend going invis again for no real reason. He's not going to dive in. They do have the two sentry wards up here rather in the trees, so I think they kind of knew that they were gonna throw those down. So might just be playing it a little bit more safe. And nothing really getting done here on mid. One team needs to kind of just figure it out where they want to go here. Unfortunately, Welfare is not going to be able to do much. They want to get as much farm on their carries as possible, but they can't really leave the base right now. They don't have a ton of map control. They do finally pick up the Slark with that sentry ward sitting on the mountain. Medusa coming in the back. Silence does go off, but Medusa still getting off that ult. Turglow able to throw off his with the BKB, and they look to take down this Night Stalker as well as the Leshrac. Slark coming in from the side, but Shadow Fiend able to pick him up as well. It's a triple kill for the Shadow Fiend, picking up the Silencer, and he looks to go hard on Chaucer as well with his Tusk, and Mr. Sinister gonna follow up that in the back end. Chaucer might actually be able to escape with little to no health. Either way, that's 4 down.
Blink. Oh, nope, he's gone.
No, they're not going to be able to chase him down. Either way, that's 4 for 3. 2 supports going down on the side of Welfare, and they do clean up the Slark as well as the Night Stalker. So definitely a huge swing, and Turgle finally being able to survive through that. Does pick up an ultimate orb. That BKB paying off a ton for them, and now they have to go down bottom to kind of save their racks here. But should be okay. Not a lot of tower damage on top, and definitely a huge engagement for them. Big swing for the gold graph here, peaking just under 2k here for Warlocks on the beach still, and a huge spike for Welfare. Over 1500 in XP, so they brought this game completely back here, almost in gold and especially in XP.
Definitely.
They do manage to pick out the sentry ward in the jungle, and I think that's what they really need to get done here. There's so much ward going on in this whole jungle for the side of Warlocks on the beach that Welfare really needs to get rid of those real quick so this Medusa is able to farm in the back end. She did go down in the last team fight, but did manage to pick up the Mjolnir. Oh, here comes Tusk.
Oh my. Man, she is
Punched
going glass
right down,
in Medusa.
snowball going hard. and Medusa being taken down by that Tusk and the Night Stalker coming in from the back end.
Yeah. She needs that survivability. She doesn't really have that survivability right now. She has Mjolnir, Phase Boots, and Midas. I mean, yeah, the Mana Shield's going to do work for you, but for the most part, you need something to keep you alive, girl.
Double damage.
Night Stalker now picking up that BKB, so he's going to be able to survive quite well for himself. Did go down pretty quick on that team fight from that Shadow Fiend, so definitely needs the survivability. And Slark is just going to push with his team going down mid tower here, and he does finally finish his Silver Edge. So this could be another T2 tower for the side of Warlocks at the beach, and there's not a lot they can do after spending a lot of their ults on the back end of that fight. So free tower going in the way of Slark on the side of Warlocks at the beach, and they might pretty much just take whole control of this farm for Medusa. She is still down for another 10 seconds, so not being able to get the Midas off, not really being able to do anything. And it's looking for a tough game here for Welfare, trying to go for the late game, but Warlocks on the beach doing quite well for this mid to late game, taking down whoever they need to. Click, 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 click. I'm panicking. Did you see the Shrek? I actually didn't see that Brewmaster ult there. He was still on that cliff.
Oh, yeah?
That's quite unfortunate. They still won that team fight in the back end, so if they did have the Brewmaster, that would have been probably tossed down as well. That would have been a full wipe.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do you think's going to happen here? Is Welfare going to be able to kind of bust this out in the end and let this Medusa farm? Warlocks and the beach are having a lot of control.
I think we're gonna get to see a true best of 3, sir. I think we're gonna get to see it come down to the wire. I'm real excited.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm not rooting for anyone in particular, to be honest. Just like to see good games of Dota.
As a caster shouldn't.
I think the third game.
Sorry, Armpit, we're not forgetting about you.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see it come down to a wire in a game 3, and both teams kind of put their heads together and see what's really important, where they succeeded and where they might have fallen. I think Warlocks of the Beach might lean more towards the mid game and less towards the end game push that they thought they had in game 1, and they might try to even out. You'll see, if we do go to a game 3, you'll see a similar draft of this, but with a little bit more late game, because they're going to start struggling in about 10 or 15 minutes. And Welfare, I'm not sure what they're going to do next. This is all assuming that we go to a game 3. So.
Been a pretty surprising draft from Welfare for both times. I mean, they do pick up their normal support stuff they've been picking up, but their carry is just completely different. So if this does actually turn out to be a game 3, then be interesting lineup to see on both sides.
I'm interested. I'm curious what their bans are going to be. I think you might see an Undying sneak through next game if we have a next game.
Yeah, this Slark's doing a ton of work for them.
Yeah, he is. He's got an Oov. A Silver Edge. Okay.
No love from their mid. No love at all.
No love from their own team members.
So I guess while we got this pause going down, I might as well plug away at our Twitter and lovely other platforms of social media. You can go find us and follow us over at Twitter at NMMDota, and Facebook page is /NMMDota as well. And our YouTube channel as well as our Twitch is New Meta Media, so go check us out there if you are watching the Twitch or watching this broadcast later on from a saved YouTube video or what have you. It'd be lovely to get any more support from you so we can keep continuing this broadcast and maybe move on to other things in Dota.
Yeah, we love support from viewers like you.
I expected some sort of jingle coming out of the background after what you said that.
Oh, that's right, you're Canadian. That was a KUOW joke. I don't think you got it. The public radio joke. I'm sorry, man. My bad. I'll keep it on your level. So,
Ouch.
them hockeys. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, hockey is over.
Hockey's great. So let me see. What do we got on this Night Stalker? What are we going on with Alphonic? Okay, he's got a Hyperstone. You think that's going to be AC, or do you think that's going to be Mjolnir? He's already got the BKB. He's got the Helm of
should
Dawn,
be the
so he's
AC.
got the tank and the lifesteal. Really? I was going to say the Mjolnir because he's got the tank and the lifesteal.
Needs the AC for this Shadow Fiend, because the Shadow Fiend passive takes down armor, the presence of the Dark Lord.
Yeah.
It's
Good
6
point.
armor reduction, so they definitely need the little bit of armor coming back on the side of the AC. Night Stalker
Is
disconnecting
he-
again.
He's trying, man. He's trying.
Trying real hard. So, if anybody else is going to the International this year, hope to maybe see you there. It should be a very interesting time.
Oh yeah, we'll all be attending. We would definitely love to see some people and talk shop, have some fun. I'm excited to have all these people come into my hometown and invade the Seattle area. I love it. Last year I got to meet S4 and Ake on the street randomly. I got really lucky. Really nice guys. I didn't get to go to TI last year, unfortunately, and I was kind of cross about it. But this year, secured myself a ticket.
This year, with the patch and everything, how it's going, I think it's going to be a much better TI than the last one. Kind of got a little boring with the Chinese Dota at the back end. No offense to the Chinese teams, but seeing Razor and Nature's Prophet every single game was starting to wear on me.
Blade Mail Nature's Prophet, serious business.
Yeah, at that point, you don't really care who wins. You just kind of want it over with and get the free loot.
We don't like him in real life. Oh man.
Night Stalker's reconnected again. Hopefully this is for the final time so we can get back to this game 2 of the best of 3 for AD2L entry playoffs. And it looks like he might be sticking around. Fingers crossed.
Toes.
And he's ready. And we're back for game 2. Lots of TBs coming in on the side of T2 Tower here. Turglow actually going invis, wanting to chase down that Slark to no avail though. And Mr. Sinister actually blinking and wanting to follow this up. But they all get out instead, and they look to go for other lanes here. They might actually just go back to farm. Slark needs some sort of key item here. He does finally pick up the Orb of Venom, so he might need the Scotty to tank up, or might actually just go for Basher and have a little bit more control, especially against the Shadow Fiend who has the BKB. Dust actually being blown up on mid. I don't know.
I think
why.
that was
Might have been a misclick.
just in case. I think that was just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah, see?
Dust
'Cause the
being
Shadow
blown
Fiend
off
has
as well.
been Scouting.
Everybody's freaking off. And they do find Turgle on mid here. Does Shadowblade up. I think he'll actually be fine. Orb of Venom ticking him down a little bit, but they actually look to re-engage on top of this. Brewmaster's throwing out the split and does get the stun on Dr. Dread himself. The rest of them throwing down. Oh, blown up by the Lion Finger of Death. And Alphonic needs to get out here. Actually gets the boulder toss on Alphonic again onto the Primal Spit. And he's just going to run out of time here. Does blink out. Multicast going off for the burn damage on Alphonic, but I think they will get out. Just losing the silencer. And Night Stalker disconnected.
And another pause. The Shadow Fiend got out on the skin of his teeth, man. He got out with just a handful of hit points on that Shadow
It
Blade.
was like 100 health.
Yeah. It looks like he's going Scotty, by the way. He's got the double ulti orb. So
Yeah, I do see that. It's what he needs. He needs to tank up a little bit more. That BKB has saved him, but especially with the right click, because it's either a Deso or the Scotty for Shadow Fiend. You really need that right click potential, and it's either the slow and stats or the really quick Desolation with the minus armor. So interesting to see whichever he goes for. It will be the Scotty this time, and you know what? I think that's what he needs. He needs to tank up for sure. His internet comes out of a tree in his backyard, I think.
well, they
That
say
might not be the best setup.
They say on the 10th day God created internet, so it makes sense that it would come out of a tree. Thank you, Armpit.
No, money does, and we need a money tree for this business, don't we, Armpit?
Do you know how much a money tree costs, Sub-Zero? It's very expensive.
It's probably pretty expensive.
Very expensive, yes.
But it might pay out
Maybe.
dividends. Bi-weekly? Bi-monthly?
I think it would be seasonally.
It'd definitely be seasonally where I'm at.
Yeah, you'd have to wait for
Toonies.
you'd have to wait for fall. Darn it, Canadian jokes.
Hey, 71. What's a toonie?
I have no idea. That's the currency they use in Canada. I have no idea. It's $2
Eat
American.
your frickin'
That's
U.S.
what
jokes.
that's
No,
what
it's
toonie
not $2 American.
It's $2 American. That's what a toonie is. Okay, we might get a start here.
Okay, hopefully it's coming back into the game, and this is the last pause for game 2. And they are actually
Hey, you guys
coming
won't
back.
have to deal with our filler talk anymore. It's fine.
Dire's
pretty good filler
bottom
talk, I'd
tower
say.
is under attack.
It's awful. It's terrible.
It's awful. I'm gonna go cry myself to
It's
sleep
like,
after the comments
yeah,
on this video.
It's worse than anime filler.
So we still got Medusa going back to the jungle here on the Radiant side, and really with just that Mjolnir, she definitely needs a lot more items. Sitting at 1500, and Shadow Fiend's still taking control of the net worth charts here. Almost has that Scotty finished up, and another boss. Lag. Great. Well, you gotta kind of respect it.
Yeah, from the other side of the fence. 300.
I was wondering what Shadow Fiend was doing. It kind of just went invis there and panicked. Alpha's leeching.
Is that the
Night Stalker. Shadowblade going off by Slark. He's going to go for a little bit of a scout here into the jungle, but he is going to run into a Shadow Fiend and Medusa down on bottom. He neglects to go bottom and rather goes to the jungle in through the left side, but I think he's just going to go head back out. Doesn't find anything. Going to pick up this regen rune. Might actually be a Slark here, going for the Rosh here. And Tusk actually being picked up on bottom. Goes down real far, and Medusa able to pick up that kill. Medusa's starting to cap out, coming up the top here. Not cap out, rather, but her... Yeah. 15, level 15 here for the Medusa. And coming up on this Night Stalker here at level 16. They're starting to pull this back. She's starting to take camps in the jungle, starting to take ancient stacks, and making her way up here in the world. Picks up the Yasha, so be interesting to see what she wants to go for here if this Yasha does build into... I don't think it'll be an S and Y, maybe for a Manta style?
Yeah, definitely. A Mantle style would be a good idea. She could, I don't know, she's not going to right-click to Scotty anytime soon, but like we were discussing earlier, every minute that the game goes on is going to get harder and harder for Warlocks of the Butts.
It's going to prove to be a long game. Unfortunately, Medusa can't farm all on pauses, but they look to push down mid here, and Roshan actually being taken down by the side of Warlocks of the Beach. Mostly going to go on the Slark. Could go down on the... Night Stalker has the open space for it, so... It'd be interesting to see who they put it on. I'd probably put it on the Slark since he's getting a lot of kill potential. Night Stalker does have the survivability now, but he's still being focused down pretty quick.
You talking about getting a gem?
No, them picking up the Aegis.
Oh, the Aegis. Oh. Yeah. Definitely good on Slark. It's good on Night Stalker as well. It looks like it's going to go on Night Stalker, though. He's got that free spot, and Slark hasn't dropped his TP yet. And there's TP on the ground, so it's probably Night Stalker's. Oof.
Shout out to the AD2L. Guess they were watching the cast for most of it, and it's great to have us on the cast here for most of their games running through the playoffs, and hope to be able to cast through more. It's definitely a great tournament to be a part of, so anybody watching the stream that isn't already a part of it, definitely jump in, whether it's just for their solo tournament or their 5v5s. They have different entry levels from all around the globe, so definitely a great tournament to be a part of.
Oh, that's nice of him to jump into the cast. Makes me feel all tingly inside. Alright, we've got this Roshan going. Hopefully Leshrac and Silencer can distract long enough.
Lion actually managing to bring down the tower on mid, and they do expend the primal split. They do manage to take down the Leshrac with the Brewmaster here, and they're going to look to go high ground on this while they're still taking down Roshan. Still not quite dead yet, finally managed to pick him up, and Nightstalker does pick up Aegis of the Immortal here, and they're going to head straight back, but they're going to run into a whole crowd of heroes there. I don't know if they have any reveal for the Slark though, do they? They do have a dust for Ogre Magi, but they just missed him. They needed to crack that off a little bit sooner. They do know it. They do know which way he went with that Sentry Ward, but just not able to pick him up.
Yeah, Slark's got a lot of mobility when he's invisible, so it's going to be really hard to catch him out with dust or sentries or anything, honestly. He's just going to pounce away, he's going to run away. Yeah, but I don't know if that trade was worth it, my friend. Killing a tower for a Roche? We'll see. They really need to turn this around. They need to get aggressive. They have Aegis. They need to make this worth it. They need to make that Lesh death worth it. He's died a lot for the team already. He's got a Bloodstone. Every death is worse than the last, so they need to make things happen.
Desolator out on the Tusk now, though. That like the rush pickups, it's hard to say who won for that trade right now. But if they do manage to use this Aegis proficiently and start to push down towers, if they do want to crack high ground, take that T2 or actually win a team fight, the world's their oyster if they get it complete, because that will completely change the game for them, and they will use this draft to their benefit. However, with the smoke up, they need to take this real quick, because if they don't get anything done, they've spent a lot of time here and a lot of gold.
There's the blink away after the smoke is broken. Man, they had no vision here on the Ancients Radiant side, and that was the perfect chance for them to get that smoke.
Yeah, kind of a wasted smoke BKB here. They do manage to throw out the ice charge shards here. BKB goes out and Mr. Sinister. It's great to pull that out, but overall a wasted smoke up. All of them jumping in on that except for the Slark, and it's really cutting them down here. They need to use this mid-game lineup to the extent, and while that's all going on, Medusa's able to farm up and really do what she wants. She has picked up the Yasha now, and she's saving quite a bit. Does she have something coming out on the courier maybe?
No, but she needs to use that gosh darn Midas.
Yeah, she does have an ulti orb actually on the courier. Turglow actually going deep here with Shadow Bladed up here on the Shadow Fiend. He's going to run into 3. And yeah, get back quick, son, just in case.
Just barely avoids that Sentry Ward. They would have jumped all over him if they saw him.
So it looks like we just go back to the farming game here. Slark pushing bottom, picking up a lot of this creep and taking out the jungle as well a little bit. Silencer just doing his job, dewarding, getting what he needs to get done. Mr. Sinister actually farming up quite a bit here, getting these Ancients. Has finished his BKB as we saw. It looks like he's actually going Ags with that point booster. Medusa finally picking up the Manta Style here rather quick. I think she just needs the recipe. Oh no, she did finish it, sorry. She did finish her Manta Style. And Shadow Fiend does finally pick up the Scotty, so they managed to smoke up themselves, and they were going to look for a team fight with their brand new items, and it's definitely what they need right now. They take a huge team fight. This could be looking to be pretty hard to come back for on the side of Warlocks of the Beach.
They could catch out those Tusk really easily. Lion's breaking off from the group.
Lion broke off, revealed the smoke. Chauzer knows he's coming in, and they're going to still push this. I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to get back or just want to go high ground. They should know that they're all going to come in from behind here. Kind of a split break here. Still smoked up in the back end with the 3 carries here coming in right behind. They're going to pick off Dr. Dread real quick if they get off before the Silence. Silence managed to go out. BKB still going off, and Leshrac being picked off early by the Turgle in the back end. Geo almost going down, manages to get out. Medusa throwing off the ult, manages to bring down the Silencer. They're going to go hard on Alphonic. Slark sitting on the background, manages to pick off the Lion, but gets turned around by the Brewmaster real quick, gets his killing spree. Alphonic being jumped on again after the Aegis, and he's cleaned up as well. And just Lonely Tusk being able to get out of that whole engagement. That's a 4 for 2, only 2 supports going down on the side of Team Welfare.
Yeah, they decided to stick around, even after a bit of reveal on the smoke from the Lion, but didn't work out in their favor, unfortunately.
Yeah, now they're just going to start to push mid lane here. They're going to want to start maybe taking T3s of their own. They still have 2 more T2s on the side that they can pick up. A little bit extra gold here, a little bit more map control. But they don't really need it right now with all the huge carries coming out, pretty much dying. And I don't think Tusk can really take these 2 on by himself. He does have a lot of kill potential with this Desolator, but he throws out the Walrus Punch, goes hard on Turglow. With the Shadow Blade up, he should be able to escape. Does have a Dust, however, and does pick up the Shadow Fiend. Gets an unstoppable streak. Well done by Tusk. Huge play by him. Still getting him locked down underneath that tower. BKB being thrown up by Mr. Sinister. Walrus Punch going through the BKB, and they managed to pick up 2. Huge engagement by Choser, and really good to clean up 2 of those huge carries. And just like that, Tusk getting them right back into this game. No push completed by the side of Welfare.
Yeah, he went to town on them. To go so hard and take so much. Nice job. Nice job.
Managed to pick up that Demon Edge in the side shot before he actually went in, so doing a ton of damage on top with that Walrus Punch.
He's gonna build that Demon Edge too, we'll see.
Daedalus? Could be MKB, could be Daedalus.
No, it's MKB. He already built a Javelin. Or has a Javelin.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
It's gonna be MKB. I guess maybe in anticipation to the possible MKB on Shadowfiend. It looks
so on the side
like
of net worth
Warlocks...
here, Medusa. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Medusa actually picking up quite a bit of farm here, sitting at 16k gold net worth and actually taking the lead just with the Shadow Fiend underneath. So she has done her job. However, Warlocks at the beach looking to push high ground. Lion actually jumping in, getting a stun on 2. And Caesar gets the multicast up, blows up the silencer. Medusa tosses off the ult, and they want to go hard on these 2. Tusk coming on the side, huge Walrus Punch, blowing up that Ogre Magi. And Lestrak actually going down to the Medusa instead. Alphonic being chased down here, getting all his mana drained from this Lion. And Tusk able to deter most of it. Drunken Brawler going out, or Haze rather, and they might actually chase down Alphonic. Oh, beautiful BKB just before the Earth Spike. And he does get out.
Detection.
By the skin of his teeth.
There it is.
Yeah, Dust actually gone off on Chauzer here. Snowball coming up for Mr. Sinister. They need to split up a little bit here. And mana drained. Walrus Punch going off, almost killing the Lion. But Tusk does go down to the Medusa on a killing spree. And yeah, I mean, Tusk doing a ton of work in that team fight, but gets cleaned up at the end here, and they're going to start pushing other lanes up.
As soon as he got dusted, he tried to milk it, pop the snowball, let the dust run out, milk that snowball for as much as you can get out of it. Would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those pesky kids and that meddlesome dog.
Yeah, team net worth here drawn out to 0, so Spike actually was in favor of Welfare. Lost a couple in that team fight, but still sitting pretty comfortable here, and XP going straight through the roof, sitting at 5k in XP. And Medusa's just going to get harder and harder to kill here.
Medusa's going to get nastier and nastier.
And you know, I haven't seen her done a ton, but she has picked up 10 assists. Like, she's getting a lot of gold from a lot of the team fights, even though she's been farming most of the time.
Yeah, her ult and her split shot and her snakes are definitely doing work. They're not standout. If you're watching the team fight, they're not super standout. You know, they're not like multicasts. They're not like big silences, but they're doing their work. They're chipping away. You know, they're little worker bees. So.
2 ulti orbs coming out on the courier, actually. Medusa getting a ton of farm now, so she looks to get that Scotty. She's going to be super tanky and really hard to kill. And legit Harry being jumped on here on the Slark. They do have reveal for him. His ult is going to be expended here rather quick. Does throw out the pounce, but he's going to get blown up real quick. Shadow Fiend actually finishing off that kill with the right clicks from the Scotty. And that's a bad one to lose here. Definitely not a good hero to go down at this point in the game, because they're going to start to group up and want to push down T3 here.
Yeah, in that fight you can see here where all the different heroes are trying to surround Slark so that he does have to pounce into them, and he has no choice. Now they're going to be looking to push high ground. Slark with no buyback.
And Medusa getting really close to that Scotty. Night Stalker actually turning everything to night. Brewmaster throwing off the split. BKB's first, interesting to see, but does manage to take down the Night Stalker really quick. Tusk going hard for Caesar in the back end, and Kiko looking to chase him down. Shadow Fiend throwing off the ult, does pick off Dr. Dread on the silencer. Fuzzlith getting stunned up, he's just going to have to stay in the background. Glyph going off, but this is definitely going to be a Rax and a half.
Yeah, Medusa is completely out of mana though, so we'll see what the re-engage looks like. Slark's going to be coming back in 10 seconds.
Yeah, Tusk coming
Big
in from the
stun.
background. Medusa sitting really low. That is going to be a Walrus Punch, getting the kill on Medusa. Tusk throwing out the snowball, does go on a creep instead, and gets stunned and turned around. Turgle actually picking him up on a killing spree, and they're going to go hard on Fuzzleth. Does pick up another kill. Double kill for the Turgle running on the Shadow Fiend. Slark actually wants to pounce on him and go hard on him instead, but Turgle's sitting really healthy with his Scotty and he's just able to TP out, and so is the Brewmaster. You're going to be able to get out quick find. Oh, Snowball just missing on him. Buybacks from the Lestrak as well as the Tusk. And
that multicast really did some work.
Yeah. Able to get out just before any re-engage from the side of Warlocks on the beach, and tough pill to swallow, spending all that gold for the buyback, and nothing really comes of it. Losing the mid racks, just the range racks still up, and it's definitely going to be hard ways to come back from this one, running down on mid, and they look to just go real hard themselves.
Yeah, they're Warlocks of the Butts are looking for an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of situation. They want to take those racks, they want to go hard, they want to get some kills. Ooh. Oh my gosh.
Slark and Tusk are just so quick, barely keep up with them on the camera here. Just running around rampant. And they want to go hard on the Shadow Fiend. He actually go hard on this Leshrac. Does show off his face, but I think Slark's just going to get back in the meantime.
Yeah, they're mad. They got the taste of blood. They want to go. We're going to see. They don't want to let this mid lane get pushed out too much. Then Medusa's going to get too much map control. She's going to be able to farm up. And everyone's going to be able to roam just a little bit more, which is going to get pick-offs. Yeah. Warlocks really need to start clamping this down. They need to keep Welfare in their base, keep them out of the jungle, and really dominate these team fights. So, we'll see.
Yeah, and Gem actually coming out online, so they're going to be having a real hard trouble with any ward and vision around the map. And we do see Leshrac did have the Bloodstone there, but sitting at only 3 charges, he hasn't really got much out of it in great return. Silence actually being thrown out with Mr. Sinister coming in the back end, throws off the BKB. He's not able to blink on top of him, but I think they will be able to chase down Dr. Dread, being blown up so quick by the Shadow Fiend. And he throws off his ult. Manages to stop it. Take down the Sentry Ward, and they're just going to look to chase this far down. And Brewmaster throwing off the boulder on top of Fuzzleth. He goes... And they're just going to continue to chase this. They're all split up here. Geo coming in from the side with the Haste Rune. They did see the Slark just before he Shadow Bladed. And they're going to go hard on the Leshrac, but at the end of his ult, he's going to just look to get back. They do see the Courier coming in and manage to turn on Slark instead. Slark using his ult and going hard on Mr. Sinister. This could be a huge kill if they manage to pick him up. Nobody's around to save him. Turglow actually going unstoppable on the back end, killing the Tusk. And Slark going real hard on top of this Brewmaster. Manages to get off the haze. Not able to take him down quite yet. Lion's still here, managing to pick up the Slark. Meanwhile, up top, Medusa going hard with that Scotty, does pick up the Leshrac kill. Slark finally does finish off the Brewmaster, and they look to go on Alphonic on mid here, and cleans up with the Medusa, going so hard now on the Scotty build. And mid racks is finally cleaned up, range going down, and Slark getting just out with the skin of his teeth, does manage to heal up, but gets pounced on right real quick again, gets stunned up, blown up by the Medusa, and this is looking like GG. And out of nowhere, Welfare just so farmed up on this Medusa, able to take down the whole team except for the Silencer, and they're just going for the strong 3 straight for it. They want to finish this out, game 2-0, and they just want to get this over and go straight into the semifinals.
Yeah, great performance by Welfare. That split fight was crazy. 2 different fights, 2 different sets of heroes, just totally smacking the hell out of each other. It was really interesting.
And they're going to let this throne go. They're not going to call it GG until the last little bit. Throne going down, and Team Welfare actually managing to pick up the 2-0 victory against Warlocks on the Beach in this AD2L NA entry draft. Going for the playoffs here, going all the way into semifinals. A great couple of games coming out from Welfare. The first game just took them straight to the throne real quick. The second game, completely different drafts here, seeing a lot coming out from Warlocks on the Beach, actually really taking a lot of this mid game straight to the teeth of Team Welfare, and out of nowhere Medusa getting all the farm she needed with the Scotty as well as the Manta style, and really just blowing them up at the end, and they just weren't able to hold her down. And that's game 2. That's a wrap for the series here between Welfare and Warlocks on the Beach. Thanks again to 71 coming out for casting, and Armpit as well running stats in the back. Thanks to everybody watching the Twitch stream tonight, and if you could go ahead and give us a follow over at Twitter at NMMDota, and subscribe to our Twitch channel as well. Thanks again, 71.
Thank you, Sub-Zero. It was a fantastic game to watch. I wanted that best of 3, but these were great games regardless. So
Well, still good to watch, and we'll be back next week for sure to cast another game, most likely for Team Welfare again. Thanks again for everybody coming out, and have a great night.
Good night and good luck.
You know there's something that I saw about your ways. I hear it calling out for days. No reason or a doubt that I'm amazed. But you're backing off and don't seem fazed. So why, oh why? It took one look and now you stare at me the same. So why, oh why? It took one look but you play me like a game. It took one look and now you stare at me the same. It took one look but you play me like a game. It took one look and now you stare at me the same. It took one look but you play me like a game.